There it is. And now I click that one. And it's like, whoa, man, we're live now. That's crazy. And then what I do is I go over here to this and I at people. Tell them, hey.
Well, if I can get a link to the stream itself.
Well, there's a chat one, and then, hey, what about if I gave you this link for the stream itself right here?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
See.
Very good. All right. Bring up chat. There it is. Then I reposition it slightly. There we go. And that's the thing. Cool. Close this open. We're good. Well. Hello out there. Welcome back to...
I am second host, it's Sneaky.
That's the new bit, okay.
Yeah, you're involved in this now.
Welcome back to TableTalk.
Willfully or otherwise.
Yeah, TableTalk discussion and discourse. I, as always, am your host, Alejo, aka Great on 95.
I, as most of the time, am your second host, Aiden, aka ItsSneakyAdolf.
And Boo isn't here yet. We'll see if he shows up. He was taking a nap because he also does things, and they make him tired. So sleeping is good.
Boo is a tired boy. It would be appreciated if you wish him to sleep well.
Yes.
And with your good wishes and maybe a little bit of luck, he may join the stream tonight. Exactly. Oh wait, he's on his phone. According to Discord.
Okay, so he'll be on soon.
You see that? Your good wishes are paying off already.
Hey, Dracker Kraken, finally get to watch live again. Looks at topic. This is what we're doing. Mm-hmm.
Oh, so we're doing this now.
Hey, Slay. Spicy topic indeed. Yeah, it's episode 69. What did you expect? Come on. It's the perfect time. But also, he coincides with a question that we got in the Discord a while ago, which we can answer on this very stream. I'll talk about that more when we get to the actual topic. But yeah. So, while we're waiting for Boo to show up, I'm
actually intensely interested in tonight's subject, being part of a campaign. Hello, Boo.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I was talking for a second there, but my circle wasn't lighting up, and I thought my fucking mic was fucked up.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes Discord's being weird these days.
Yeah.
Well, I'm in a campaign where two other people are, like, already married.
Oh, like PC and PC, huh?
No. PC and NPC.
Oh, okay. Neat.
Oh, okay.
Like, our ranger has a husband, and our gunslinger has a wife.
Cool.
And then I am a paladin who is blissfully unaware
Fair.
Of the fact that he's now married.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, we can get to that story in a bit then. But yes.
So, are we already going? Are we doing?
Yeah. We're going.
Okay, I didn't know if you guys were just shooting the shit for a little bit.
Oh, same thing as.
Oh no, we're totally shooting the shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the podcast.
Go ahead and tell us your worst opinions about the money. I mean, subscribers.
God damn it!
My worst opinions.
I hate everything about
this. Worst opinions? I have the worst opinion. You ready?
I'm ready.
You see the hey everybody.
Nice.
You see the words there?
Okay.
The typed words on the title?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. You know, love, sex, and relationships in TTRPGs.
Not in that order, but yes.
Whatever.
Like that's gonna happen to people who play RPGs.
Wow.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know how you run them? You don't have them at all, regardless.
Wow.
Damn, because they don't fucking exist. Never
wow.
happens. Anyway.
Nice.
Right, Aiden? Never happens. How was your in to say yeah, it never happens? Even though you just had to, like, you had people that were married.
He's already done it.
Oh well.
Anyway, so
I was not paying attention. I apologize.
Of course.
But it was so funny. It was such a good bit.
Good bit.
Good bit.
I'm laughing inside, I swear.
Yeah. Okay. Just don't want to wake up your parents, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Playing Bloodborne.
That's why.
Yeah.
Playing Bloodborne, doing a low magic with that aesthetic would be cool. With what aesthetic? What are we talking about? Which aesthetic? Oh god. I've forgotten what we were talking about before.
Romance?
I don't know.
In Bloodborne? In my Bloodborne?
In my Bloodborne?
In my wait, the Orphan of Cause, is that Bloodborne? I don't remember.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Honestly expected the acknowledgement, but not the commitment. Well, dude, what other time, you know?
Yeah.
Well, it could be a Valentine's Day thing, I guess, but
episode 69 is better.
Exactly. Valentine's Day might not even start on a Tuesday, you know? So
yeah.
So before we get to that, let's go over comments. We only have a couple. And by a couple, I mean...
take another hour.
Well, because two of them... Sorry, by a couple, I mean a few. And by a few, I mean one short and two long. So,
okay. So
we'll
an hour and a half, then. Okay.
Yes. Just a campaign idea. Oh, okay, gotcha. Not gonna lie, my players in every game of ran set at the beginning, no relationships. So yeah, I can't say I'm versed in this. Oh, me either. But we'll get there.
Yeah, no.
We'll get there. So, first off, we've got Polyhedral. Had a great time. I kind of enjoyed the short streams. There you go, from last episode. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed. It's not going to be a norm, but we'll see. And then Lux Armok on episode 34 has two comments. One commenting on his own so that he can have the length that he needs. So, here we go. I'm gonna drink a water before I start this. You can already hear I'm fucking dying.
Yep. Get yourself a little spritz of sour spray from the 90s.
Yeah. So
you did the perfect comment to have your voice die on.
Yeah, it's cool.
Voice is rough and you start Lux's comment.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
It's what happens. It's what happens. So, here's the DMPC episode. Got a long comment for you here today, even by my standards. In fact, I'm going to split it into two posts because I don't see shortening this one. I've mentioned before that I've always used a DMPC. Most of the campaigns I've been in had a DMPC, and it's never been a problem. Well, almost. I've encountered exactly one DM who treated his own character as the hero of the story. Oh, I'm sorry. And didn't let any other character do anything really noteworthy. No. And even that example wasn't horrible, but it just wasn't good. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think he realized the problem with what he was doing, and I would have actually stayed with that campaign if it hadn't fizzled out because I liked the character I was playing. Still, it was a bad use of a DMPC. I've also said before, my background is mostly in freeform play-by-post roleplay. Excuse me. It's where I got my start. What I've spent the most of my time on to this day, and honestly where I feel like I've done my best work. There's a tendency for people to go poof before you can ever actually finish in a story in that format. Sometimes something I've been guilty of myself more times than I like to admit. And if you think an hour is a long time to spend on a single battle that lasts probably less than an in-game minute, try having one stretch on for months. But the majority of my time and thought has gone into that, and I've done things there that I've never really felt like I've matched in tabletop. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. But to get to my point, coming from that background, it's really weird to me to see most of the tabletop community's apparent hang-up with the concept of the person running the plot having their own character. That's just the normal thing you do on a typical play-by-post forum. Sometimes a single player will even have more than one character who remains present throughout the storyline so they can play off of each other. Sometimes even players who aren't running the plot will bring in multiple characters, but for any participant to not have at least one permanent character of their own in the story is not something I've ever seen done on a freestyle forum. What I would say before we go too much further is, obviously, yeah, you're right. I mean, it's one of those things where it's just really, really prevalent to have multiple characters in that kind of posting forum. But that's because you're playing different, like, you as the story control, I guess. I don't know what you, like, the author of it, as well as the participants, you all have to kind of make things happen, you know? And the author doesn't, as far as I'm aware, doesn't really just go, this is the setting, go. They kind of create that stuff with their character that they've, like, made for it. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it well because I've done it only a few times, right? And from what I've seen and what I experienced, it was like, this person plays this character and this is the world. And they're going to keep playing that character in the world, and your character is also in the world. How do you interact with everybody else? Right?
Yeah, it's a little weird.
It's one of those things that's hard for me. No, you're good. It's hard for me because it's just like, one, it's the commitment, right? I don't know. Something about a post on a forum every day at least I can't do that. It's not something I can do.
Yeah, and I guess just, like, I don't know, the format just seems so strange to me after having played for, playing the way it's normally played. I mean, hell, it's not really even the way it's normally played, because you don't normally play online. You're supposed to play on a fucking table. But, the second most normal way to play. So,
COVID being what it is, I don't know if it's the weird way anymore.
Yeah, true. But yeah, I think.
Hey, all you listening out there, get immunized.
Please do. God fucking damn it. Anyway,
I have my second shot a week from today.
Hey, good
job.
I've had mine for a few months now. I think I don't know how long it's been, but I've had it for a long while. Yeah. Oh, campaign idea you were in. Oh, well, no, it's retracted. Anyway. Okay.
I have something to contribute.
Please. Yes.
Well, actually, a couple of things.
Yeah.
One, you're not gonna find people here who criticize having DMPCs.
No.
Because honestly, being a player in D&D is pretty fun.
Yeah.
If the DM doesn't already have enough on his plate and wants to kind of double dip and enjoy being a player, that's totally fine. So long as they're not like the protagonist of the story.
Yeah.
The DM, if anything, has to be super careful to never show his character favoritism.
Yes.
To the point where his character may always have it like a bit rougher than some of the other characters.
Sure,
yeah. But I've never controlled two characters concurrently. But I think it would be a very interesting thing to do, especially in an online format. Because you have the advantage of when it is an online format, you can take as much time as you need to think about what you say, how you do things, etc. And you can make two characters that play off each other really well. So I sort of now want to make an adventuring married couple.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Hmm.
I've done it, but one of my characters was mute. That's the easy way for me to do it, because then it makes it so, like, I can do hand gestures and shit. Like, they communicate still, right? Like, they can, do all that kind of shit. But I make one the person that they go to talk to, and the other guy they go to do things, It makes it easier for me to not have to talk to myself all the time. Because that's the thing with in D&D and such, and TTRPGs, whenever I have to talk to myself, I feel weird about it.
Yeah, because it's kind of it's another step past role playing, and it's one that's,
well,
I guess, you know what I mean, because it's already kind of an awkward feeling to do voices in front of people that you don't know and to role play as somebody else. But then when you're role playing to yourself, it's just another layer of kind of weird. At least until you get used to it.
So it's not the weirdness like that, right? It's more just the fact that I don't want to be talking to myself. Right? I want to be talking to other players, other DM, or, whatever that situation is.
That's the problem I have as the DM. Like, if I have two NPCs that are talking to each other, or a DMPC and a character, I found a way around this by having the DMPC in one of my campaigns be a harpy, which is more or less a reflavored kenku.
Right.
And literally, like, that thing was a child. It like almost never spoke.
Yeah, that makes it way easier. I've DM'd a play by post once. It dies really easily if an interaction gets stuck by someone who does check in at least once a day, or doesn't check in. Yeah, that's the thing. A play-by-post thing is just one of those things that's really hard to do if people aren't committed as well.
It's even more long-form than D&D.
Absolutely. 3.5 campaign I was in, the DM really seemed like they were trying to date a player through an NPC, maybe say no to relationships in every game I run. Yep, that's fair. Yep. That's the thing. When you gotta know where to draw the line, and we'll get there, But anyway, going back to the comments. Of course, I'll grant that a DM has significantly more power over a game than what plot runners on a forum generally take for themselves. Not always, as it depends on what expectations are set beforehand, but all the same, if you're going to be successful as a plot runner on a forum, you learn how to lead a plot while using a PC without turning them into a Mary Sue, and while still letting the other characters have a meaningful place in the story. You just have to. There's no shying away from it. And that's fair. So with the tabletop community, I think it's unfortunate that the general reaction to DMPCs has been to simply say, don't use them, instead of discussing how to make a good DMPC, which actually is not smart. If they're not your style, you certainly don't have to use them, but everyone isn't the same. People are going to do what they want to do, no matter how hard you try to condemn it. You're going to get much better results from a DMPC positive discussion than you will by insisting on abstinence-only DMPC education. Nice. Good. On that note, I'll go into my advice for using them. And I'll preface this by defining a DMPC as a DM-controlled character who accompanies the party on a permanent basis, at least as permanent as any PC, who participates actively in the party's efforts and who isn't subservient to any party member, as with a hireling, cohort, summon, etc. I define any DM-controlled character that doesn't meet all three of these conditions as an NPC. I love you. Thank you for the whole definition.
Yeah, because, like, God, there's so many people who's like, let's run a DMPC. Well, so what's a DMPC? And it's technically every character in the game is a DM.
That was
I
the
fucking
thing.
hate when people say that shit.
That was the thing. Like, when we were doing the video, we were asking the question, how do you define it, right, to the video? How do you define a DMPC? And, like, if you give us your definition, it makes this conversation so much easier. Yeah. So thank you.
And the thing that's, like, it's right along. It's the same fucking page that we're all on, where we consider DMPC to be not every single character that the
absolutely
DM fucking plays, but the characters that are actually a part of the party and have classes and stats like the party.
We have the word NPC for a reason. Don't be vague for the to the point of, oh, what's the word I would use? No longer being honest, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. If you do use one, you have 2 goals in order of importance. Don't overshadow the players, and give the DMPC a purpose. The players want their characters to accomplish things that actually matter, even if it's a Lovecraftian horror game where everything is going to ultimately fall apart in the end. They still want to be able to contribute to delaying that outcome for as long as they could.
Yes.
So don't
helping it.
True, or helping it. That's true.
If they went insane, yeah.
So don't build the DMPC to carry the party. Pick one role and then stay in your lane. The character can be a jack of all trades, but the operative term there is a jack, not master. Then best idea is to let the players all pick their roles first, and then take a role for yourself that nobody else chose. Though it would usually be permissible to provide a second frontline fighter or some other pure combat role. Depending on the... Oh, sorry.
That's how I avoided, just to give an example, that's how I avoided that issue by introducing the Harpy Child, like session 4, and instead of making her a master of what she did, make her quite literally just a child. Make the party...
Oh my god, Aiden said it this time!
Quite literally, yeah.
Yeah!
I'm infecting you, I'm sorry.
Anyway, go on.
Yeah, I got bad news for you there, but I've said that for a long time.
Yeah,
oh, I know, it's the first time I've heard it, now that I've started keeping track of when Alejo says it.
God damn it.
So anyway, she is quite literally a child, yes?
Yes, she is quite literally a child, and sort of taking care of her was one of the party's main motivations, that it helped sort of congeal the whole dynamic and bring everyone together.
Nice.
Yep. And like for me with Yulan, it was to fill the role of a healer if it was needed, but he wasn't the best at like...
I disagree.
Well, so everyone told him he was the best. God damn it, shut up. But he wasn't. He didn't lead. He didn't really want to, take part in too many big decisions. He left things to the party. He was there as another person to be a meat shield as well as maybe heal you occasionally. I don't think I made him heal himself ever. I don't honestly remember doing that. If I ever did, then that's on me. Because that was not... But I think I made him always heal other people. And that was his whole thing. He didn't need to heal himself. He could heal other people. But yeah, so easily get them into a role that you need them to be. So, depending on your players, you might be able to get away with having a slightly higher level than the rest of the party, but I wouldn't suggest it unless you have some brilliant idea that requires that to work. And remember that if your plan is to have an enemy kill off this character to demonstrate how threatening they are, then the character is what I've defined as an NPC. That's true. Otherwise, make sure the character follows all the same rules as the rest of the party, including how ability scores are generated. Never declare that they succeeded at something unless the dice tell you they succeeded. Sometimes I would give it just because some things are inherent, right? Like, if it's a thing that actually requires a roll, absolutely, I agree 100%. But if it's something very simple, like, I don't know, you cut a bag, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just like,
I
cut
think
the bag.
Means,
Yeah.
Within reason.
Of course.
Yeah.
I would actually clarify on an earlier point.
Okay.
There's no need to be on the whole NPC versus DMPC thing.
Sure.
There is no need to be intentionally disingenuous.
That's the word. Yep. Disingenuous. I was trying to remember it. You got there. Anyway.
Also, to clarify on a way earlier point, about the DM trying to romance someone with an NPC.
Yep.
I have a campaign going on with my ex-girlfriend. And like I told her at the like when I started dating her, basically, like I will straight up kill you if I have to. Like if you die, you die. I do not care.
Oh, sure, yeah. There
See,
shouldn't be favoritism in that.
I don't want you to die. I want no one to die. I want to see the entire party succeed.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I balance encounters so that you guys can complete them.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be hard, but you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you know you got a keeper, when you can say, I will straight up kill you, but I don't want to have to. That's some fucking serial killer shit. Anyway, go on. Sorry.
But, like, we're still friends to this day.
Sure.
And, like, my policy has not changed.
No,
like, when we broke up, like, for other reasons. Like, when we broke up, I didn't be like, all right, now this person's no longer dating me. Now time to kill her.
Oh, of course, yeah.
There's time to get her out of the story because she's not here anymore.
Yeah, no, like no, I unironically love the dynamic that my party has of a actually, ironically enough, she's playing a Kenku rogue child.
Oh my god! Wow, what a coincidence!
And I unironically love the group dynamic of the Kenku rogue, the Order cleric, and the Rune fighter. And just the Kenku child being like, "Father," and then the Order cleric's like, "No." And then the NPC's like, well, so do you grow the beak or the feathers first? You must have a few feathers by now. Looking at the cleric, and the cleric's like, what? No, that's not how that works. He's like, and then like the blacksmith looks at him like he's an idiot and just goes, "How do you think Kenku breed?"
Oh my god.
So now our cleric is like half terrified of this small child that's a little bundle of feathers who is also a walking arsenal of a rapier, a short sword, a longbow, like
D&D.
Accidentally dropped an ancient black dragon on her. Yeah, exactly. He's just like, and you're gonna continue being in the game? Well, no, obviously.
You'll be in the game, but
about that.
That'd be some shitty stuff. We'll get to that. I've got thoughts on that, but we'll get there.
But yeah, you can totally have a significant other in your campaign and like not be a piece of shit.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
You just have to give me their number first.
No, that's the people that you don't want their number first, because those are the people that are guaranteed not single.
Yeah, that's very true. That is very true.
Yeah, but just in case.
Rebound, though, maybe.
God damn it.
If they're a shitty DM. If they leave when you say, I will straight up murder you.
Holds their D&D character hostage.
Right.
Yeah.
Jesus.
That's normal.
Apparently.
Normal and healthy.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's continue with the comment. But don't overcorrect in the opposite direction and make them so weak that their usefulness suffers. It might seem reasonable to assume that making them less powerful is going to be safer, but there can be problems with that, and you don't need to. It's not as bad as making them overpowered, but it still has its pitfalls. And going by standard practice, because they are a PC, they would be taking a share of the party's experience and loot. So making them less powerful causes the party to not get as much value for what it's paying them as... much value for what it's paying them as it gets from the other characters. Blech. Even if reading, dude, it's crazy. even if you come up with another system, they're underperforming in their role and possibly exposing themselves to more danger than they can handle, forcing other characters to go out of their way to save them or let them die. And if they are going to be a frontline fighter, then I would absolutely say don't make them less powerful than the other characters. The safest thing you can do is just make them equal. It wouldn't be reasonable for your players to consider that unfair. So to sum up what we've got so far, give the character a specific role, make sure they don't muscle in on any other character's role, and make sure they perform their role well enough to not drag the party down. That covers the mechanical side of it. And then the second comment. Now to the narrative aspect. You're still the DM, so everything you do should further the story.
Well, not everything you do.
I don't know about everything, but definitely a majority can. And you can tie the things that don't seem like they can to the story if you want to, or you can have things not be a part of the story. That's totally fair. We've talked about it before. You're not going to be, 100% all the time on the adventure because that's just not how things go.
Yeah.
you have moments of lulls, right? And then
what?
Lull.
Moments of
lull. Lull.
Oh, moments of lulls. Yes.
Lull. Yes. A lull in the action, if you will.
Yeah, a lull.
Yes.
Rolling on the floor while laughing out loud. Yes.
Yeah. A ruffle.
Sorry.
Yes.
LMAO.
Yes. Oh no, we broke up and now you're in a saw-like trap where the only way you can get way out is you have to draw the wish card from the deck of many things.
No.
Yes.
No. You're in a saw-like trap, and the only way out is to kiss the DMPC.
Oh no! God damn it!
Only true loves kiss, and that means you, baby. Get over here.
God, I hate it so much.
Yeah, no, fuck that.
It's Kringu.
So,
yeah, that's Kringa.
Yes. You need to give the character a reason to be there, while at the same time making sure you don't deprive the other characters of their reason to be in the story either. I'll have to leave the details of this to your own creativity. Oh, thanks. But it's really not that hard. I agree. As much as I've seen some people speak as though it's an impossible feat, we do this all the time on forums, usually without really even spending much time thinking about it. You know what a Mary Sue is, so don't make one of those. But also don't shoehorn in a character that won't be relevant. That can be the invisible wallflower who quietly follows the party around and only makes their presence known when there's a dice to roll, born from the instinct to not distract attention from the other PCs, but it adds nothing of value to the game and just makes it painfully obvious that they're only here because the DM wants a character.
That's true.
It can.
You don't want to have a character whose entire purpose is basically just to be a character.
Okay. Yeah,
that's
right.
What he means.
Yeah. That's true.
They need something to do.
Yeah, they need to have at least a personality.
Yeah.
You can also include a character that will speak up, but is basically just some rando who follows the party around for no apparent reason. If you've paid enough attention to Final Fantasy XII, you know who Vaughn is. That's who I'm thinking about right now. Don't be Vaughn. I don't know that name.
Wait, wasn't Vaughn the main character?
I don't know. Does he just join the story for no reason?
It starts with him, but basically he has absolutely nothing to do with the events of the game.
Then there you go. Don't be a Vaughn.
yeah, it was. Vaughn and Panella or something it was. Yeah, and basically they were like two street rats.
Okay.
And it wasn't like Aladdin where they become something important.
Sure. They're just there.
They just happen to follow the people who are actually important.
Oh, fun.
They're the main characters. Well, I mean, they're not, but you know.
I was gonna say, yeah.
But yeah, the follows them. So stupid. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, you're good. Actually, don't design the character as a protagonist at all. Stepping into a protagonist role is how you push the regular PCs out of it. Now, okay, wait a minute. They can be a protagonist of their own story.
Yes.
That's the thing.
Not of the plot, but of their own story, yes.
Yeah, I was going to say, because you can have it so that they have some sort of vested... Like, they should have a goal, right? Yeah. And then going through to get to that goal should be their story. And whether or not the PCs help them with that is its own thing, right? Yeah. But that should be a motivation that they have, definitely, that kind of flavors how things go, I would say. Because then you have the potential for inter-party discussion as well as conflict and all that kind of stuff, right? No, sometimes I might have a DMPC not because I wanted one, but because I needed one for balancing. Not every DMPC have to be particularly invested in the major plot. So, this is the thing. If they join the party, sure, they might not be there for the major plot. They might be there for a little while, or they might get roped in afterwards, right? But
then that kind of starts to fall out of this definition of DMPC, because this DMPC that we're talking about was defined specifically as a DM played player character that remains with the party for an extended period of time. So mercenaries and hirelings kind of fall out.
Right.
What I'm saying is kind of sounds like a hireling.
Well, what I'm saying is if I use a mercenary, right? They hire a mercenary. Yes. And then they stay along because they get roped into it. Then that's what I mean. Yeah. So they are a part of the party. They're still doing the thing. If you only wanted them to be balanced for an encounter, they're just an NPC. Fuck it, whatever. If you want them to stick around. Yeah. If you want them to stick around, then that's a DMPC thing, and like they can be invested in the party, not the plot. Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That's,
absolutely. Yes.
But that's the thing. They are still part of the plot.
Yeah, now that they are invested in someone who is invested in the story, they are now an ally.
Yes.
So an ally kind of changes their, it changes their relation to the story as opposed to just being a hanger-on. Hangers-on, whatever.
Sure, yeah.
Hang-on? I don't know.
Anyway.
Painting really helps me make good input, I think.
Good. You would do better to use them as a bridge between the PCs and the story you have planned. You can even go so far as to use them as quest givers, and they are much better at that than a random NPC who comes out of nowhere and begs the party for help with something, then retreats off the stage again and leave them to deal with whatever the issue is on their own. Okay, so I think actually he's going into what we were talking about. I actually think that he's also on board with what we're saying with that. I just didn't give him the time. I apologize.
Like normal.
Yep.
You asshole.
But that's the thing. You say a thing, and I need to say a thing because my brain immediately has a thought.
Yes.
Oh, that's how conversations
what he is
work.
Describing then, I actually remember. Do you remember that time we played Devils and Dice and it was great?
Oh
no. Oh. Well, an NPC who was a quest giver and also kind of sort of a DMPC at times because he does help you out with fights very occasionally. Tharnarnar.
Yep.
Remember when you helped him walk his dog?
Yep.
Because he couldn't do it on his own or at all, or he just didn't want to?
Yep.
That was a thing.
I
just like bringing up Tharnarnar, really.
Okay.
I don't know. I would say Tharnanar is very much an NPC territory because he doesn't show up consistently enough to be a DMPC.
Yep. Yeah, and he doesn't come along with you guys at all.
Mocha is
definitely an NPC. I'm just kind of fucking around a little bit.
Mocha is the closest thing I would say to a DMPC.
Yeah, that's true because she is with you guys pretty
much
us all
the time. Yep.
Yeah. But hell, even this time you left her behind for the quest that you have. Spoilers for people who haven't seen Devils and Dice, which apparently is everybody.
It'll be coming out tomorrow. I promise. I need to get that set.
Oh, I know. I just mean previous episodes.
No, I know. I'm just
nobody cares. Fine.
Hey, at least you all in the audience better be thankful because you don't even have to listen to Devils and Dice. I'm in it.
Yeah, he's in it. That's way worse.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and don't worry, you're also it could be worse. You could be in it, but you could have to wait for Aiden to do fucking 20 dice worth of math. When he does anything.
That's right.
Anyway.
God, you mentioned painting, and I want so badly to get home and work on my Belisarius call. Dude, yes.
I'm painting my Tyrannifex. He's gonna fucking eat your Belisarius call, you big bastard.
Nice.
Anyway.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I was telling a friend at work today, in fact,
Mm.
of your spider boss and how it had 8 legs, each of which were separate entities,
Yeah.
and each of which I could attack.
Yep.
And it's
true.
fucking 80-10.
That's
Yep.
true.
Dear spider boss.
Very cool.
Yeah. Did you guys? I remember you guys saying that you liked that boss though, so that's fine. That's all
yeah,
I
no.
need.
Yeah.
It was like absolutely a fun time because like and
You got to do 8d6 and spider legs.
8d10, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then,
8d10.
like,
My bad.
And then when it fell down on the ground and was prone, I put immovable rods behind its back.
That's right.
Yeah,
and
you
then
did.
everyone, and
It
then
was
everyone could
great.
attack it with advantage.
Anyway, yeah, the DMPC could initially join the party on a different task, or they could come straight to the party with the hook from the outset. If you're confident that they can get the party to bite. Excuse me.
Yeah.
But they stay with the party to see the mission through, and in the process, they form a personal relationship with the other characters. And as a result, the mission itself takes on a personal importance to the party, and the bad guy didn't even have to massacre anyone's parents.
Mm.
A rare thing.
Yeah.
Marl from
Indeed.
Chrono Trigger is a good example of how this can go. That's true.
Who?
Marl.
Ah. Yeah.
Spoiler alert for anyone who still hasn't played Chrono Trigger.
Hello.
She meets you at the very beginning of the game at the Millennial Fair, then immediately gets thrown back in time by a teleporter accident and leads you into the mission of saving her from being erased from time. Once you've done that and bring her back to her home in the present, you get accused of kidnapping her and thrown in prison. She then comes to rescue you, and in the process of escaping, the whole party slips into another time warp that takes them to the distant future, where they witness the end of the world and begin their quest to stop that from happening. And in fact, Marl herself actually has the emotional reaction to seeing the Day of Lavos that actually drives home the importance of stopping it. That's true. Chrono Trigger's really good.
I've never played it. And watching it is kind of a chore, but hearing the story presented that way, it really sounds fucking great.
Yeah, it's really good.
First off, how fucking dare you spoil me on that 26-year-old game?
Yeah,
I was just about
Brogan
to
would have
start
a
it
field
too.
day
Right.
right now.
No, he wouldn't. 26 years, he's fine.
Okay, it was 26 years past his fucking...
This game has been out longer than I've been alive.
Well, so that's the thing.
I have had my chance to play it.
It has been out for 26 years from the original SNES, and then also was re-released on the DS, and then re-released again on PC. So
wait, it's on PC?
Yeah, it's on PC.
That?
Yeah, it's on Steam.
Everything's on PC if you know where to find it.
That's also
true.
I
know.
The music is so good. That's true. The only thing I know about Chrono is the frog. He looks cool. Yes.
His name is
awesome.
Frog.
His name is Frog. It's great. Anyway.
So the frog is very correct.
Yes. Anyway, that's how to sell a quest. And you can definitely use a DMPC for that kind of thing. A regular PC wouldn't react in a predictable enough way to depend on them for that. And you shouldn't try to control what they do. You could possibly use an NPC, but you would undermine the impact of all the work you just did to establish the importance of the quest if the character then just immediately said, "Okay, bye." You would almost have to either kill them off or contrive something for them to have to go off and do to support the mission from a distance to get them off the stage at that point. I would also say there's nothing wrong, and I don't think contrived with somebody who sees something very terrifying and goes, "I can't."
Yeah.
Right?
This is out of my fucking depth. But I know you guys are fucking badasses. I need you to do this.
I will say my character Gimbal in my Wednesday games doesn't want to adventure. That's not his thing. He wants to entertain people. Oh, sure.
I'm not joking. I'm joking.
No, I know. That's fine. People probably could. That's the thing. He thinks about it. He goes, "My life would end. I can't take a hit."
Yeah.
That's not me.
I had a fucking character idea that was it was basically dead the second I thought of it because I knew it was stupid and it was a dick move. But I just thought of it in the shower one day a long time ago. And I was like, I want to make a character who's like a bard or somebody with ridiculously high charisma.
Oh, I remember this.
And you meet in an inn. and you're like, "Hey, you seem like you could help us out. Do you want to go out and adventure with us?" And then my character turns to you, he's like, "What the fuck are you on about? Adventure? There's like goblins and shit out there. There's goblins and caves and dragons. That's really dangerous. We should just fucking stay in the bar." Charisma check, diplomacy, get them to stay in the bar forever. Done.
Yeah. But yeah, so my point with Gimbal is that he doesn't want to be an adventurer. That's not his thing. But he goes and he does the stuff because, one, he's got to travel, first off, to, like, entertain, because he's a traveling entertainer.
Is he a bard?
No, he's a sorcerer. He's a wild magic sorcerer who
Nice.
uses
Magic tricks.
Yeah, well, he uses it to amplify his flute playing, actually. Because he's really good.
Is that flavors or an actual spell that does that?
I use like dancing lights and all kinds of other things.
Okay.
Cantrips, because he's wild magic. So if I use actual big spells, things could go wrong.
Yeah. Oh,
and-
right.
Yes, that's my guy.
Right.
Yeah,
I
and
keep forgetting who Gimbal is. Everybody
That's
has so
fair.
many characters.
That's fine. But the thing is, I don't shy away from it because I also made it so him joining up with the party was a two-way street. He literally made a deal with who at the time was the quote-unquote leader of the party, the only OG who was still around, because a lot of them left, or, you know, all that kind of stuff. There was a lot of COVID happened, you know, bunch of shit. So I was like, yo, we can form a troupe, we can make money, we can perform.
Dandelions.
Right, yeah, exactly. We
Hell
can perform while we go to places, and I'll help you with your fucking adventuring thing, whatever, as much as I can. But I don't want to fight things, really, if I can avoid it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So he's still there, he'll do it, and he hasn't blown anybody up yet, which is a big win.
Yeah, that's pretty
He's
good.
blown. No, that's not true. He's blown himself and like two innocent old people up by accident. Once.
They're old.
Yeah.
Who
Oh, it
cares? Already
fucked him
went
up.
the way
He's
out.
really not great. He's not having a great time. Still living with
What
that.
class did you say he was?
Wild magic sorcerer.
I thought
Yep.
so. Okay.
And so, but that's the thing. I have him also going on his personal story of like, I gotta figure out how to either take away my magic or suppress it enough that I can be like okay,
Or control it at least.
or control it. Well, he doesn't really like at this point. He's just like fucking get rid of it.
Okay.
That's his thing. That's his thing
Dude,
now.
wild magic sorcerers that are like, this is a curse, and get rid of it, make
Yep.
me a person.
Yep.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Are the best fucking characters.
Yeah, I've loved playing him because like literally, I'm sorry, I'm going on a whole thing on
No,
this
it's
now.
fine.
But wild magic is so fun. You're right. I have gone on this whole thing of like, hey, paladin, that's in my party, could you talk to your god and like maybe get him to take away my shit? Maybe, right?
Mhm.
Could you? And he was like, I guess I could try. So I have that going. I have, hey, herbalist that I met. What are the herbs that can inhibit my fucking magic? Give me a list. I will find them and I will take them. Right?
Actually, Alejo. Oh, sorry. Hang on. Once you're done. Sorry.
Yeah, okay. And then he's also, unfortunately, there's other things of like that are hitting home where he's found an orphan child who also is and he was also orphaned, though I didn't kill his parents. I've left that vague.
Okay. So it
yes.
could have happened.
Could have happened. It's up to the DM, really, at that point.
Ooh.
I'm okay with either way. It doesn't matter because he doesn't care.
Yeah.
But there's an orphan that he met who's also now going through the magic shit, and he was like, hey, herbalist man who's also really rich, adopt her. Take care of her. Make her have a better life than I had. Make it so she doesn't accidentally kill people. Right? And so like that's been a thing, and it's so much fun, dude. Sorry. Okay. That's everything I'll go into with that.
So I was thinking just then, like with the herbalist, this is what made me think of it. Could Gimbal basically just become like a potion of silence junkie, effectively?
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah, because that seems like an easy option.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, that's the
yeah,
thing.
effectively you would be a mute, but yeah.
But that's the thing. I also have this thing that I have put in because I also don't want to not use him. Because that would be so simple, right? Just take potions every day and you're fine,
true.
right?
That's
But
really true.
I also went, hey, I miss out on D&D sessions every now and again because I'm too tired, or it was a bunch of different things before. And I was like, every time I'm not there, he blacks out. And the only way that, and this is something that is tied to how he is suppressing this magic, right? If he doesn't want to use it, he doesn't want to hurt people, he doesn't want anything to do with it, but because he continues to do so, he loses time, he loses, he doesn't know what happened. He still functions, he's still there, but he doesn't remember it, and that is a big thing for him. Because
so then, basically, you have actually turned you stand there drooling and slack-jawed into an actual character concept that is real.
Yes.
Nice. Well done.
And I was just like, and quite literally what happened, a big thing that happened recently was we took a noble to go and get married, right, at a wedding. I missed the session for the wedding.
Yeah.
So, afterwards, I was like, Gimbal was like, I don't fucking remember any of that. If I even played, that wasn't me. Right? Ooh. And he is just torn up about that too. And that's doubled him down of like, fuck this magic shit.
I take it the noble was like a friend of the party.
Yeah. Well, yeah. She became a friend after having to do it, but yeah.
I see. Yeah, just because it didn't if it was just some random noble, I didn't know why Gimbal would be.
Well, so it was also because it was a very high venue thing that we got he was like, we should do this. It will get me us very much exposure, right?
Yes,
and make the troop better, and so and then he missed it, right, quote unquote. But apparently he played beautifully. He found out later, and so it's fucking him up.
That's spooky.
It's really great. I'm having so much fun.
Your DM seems awesome.
Yeah, she's doing great. She's doing really good with it. It's really fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's enough of that. Back to the comment so that we can finally get to the thing because we're almost done with it. So, So, all right, the contrived thing. Or I suppose you can hand them off to the next player that joins the group. But you don't have to do any of those things if you executed this well, because the character would have earned their place in the party at that point. So to sum this all up in parting, you don't have to use a DMPC, but you can if you want to. If you do, don't be ashamed and apologetic about it. Take full advantage of the tool you have and do something memorable.
Oh, finally.
Agreed.
God, it's so nice to hear somebody say, hey, DM, you can do this thing that is, widely considered to be bad. Do it, enjoy it, use it, you got this. Because
you mean
I don't know what it is. Huh.
You mean aside from us, right?
Yeah, aside from us.
Yeah.
It's just it's because, I don't know what it is with the past, several videos that we've watched that have to do with DM stuff. Seems like everybody hates DMs now. Nobody cares about your story. Shut up. Let the players do whatever they want. Blah, 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 blah. Nobody likes the DM,
I mean, I don't know,
It kind of feels that way, at least with the videos. Obviously not with you guys.
Sure.
I know you guys hated me from the start.
But... Yeah, that's true. Absolutely.
Yes. You're only playing Devils and Dice because I have you at at gunpoint.
Right, that's true.
I post the gunpoint meme every time we play.
That's true, and I can't
ready?
back away.
Yeah.
It's the only way that this works. But yeah, it's just one of those things. I don't know. I agree that there is a lack of an open mind with a lot of things, which is really annoying to see.
Yeah.
So that is that. We are going to move on to the topic finally.
But before that, we're going to talk about our patrons.
That's not true. But I will say that. Okay, well now you brought it up, we do have a new patron. Mention them later, and we'll give you a nice little special little thing, but a little shout. But until then, that'll be at the midpoint, and then at the end point, as usual. Thank you very much to all of you who support in whatever way you do. Okay. So, now that hour is done, are you boys ready to talk about some love, some relationships, and some sex?
Are we ready to have the talk?
Are you ready to have the talk of the what did I say? The rocks and the on kegs?
Sure. Fucking sure. I like that analogy.
Yeah.
Thank you. So,
or in a different universe, the rocks and the ambles.
Oh,
or the Tyranids and the anything else.
Right.
Oh, the Gene Stealers and the Hive Cities.
Yeah, Gene Stealers and the Hive Cities. Jesus. I actually, not gonna lie. I've been listening to
Bears and the Beholders.
That's good too. I like that.
Yeah.
I've been listening to a lot of Lorehammer because of work, which is great. So now I'm getting real caught up. I'm like pretty far in now, which is great. So I know a lot more, which is fun.
Pretty fucking deep in that lore hole.
Yeah, it's great. It's really fun in here.
It is. It's great. Hope you watch Luton as well. He's good.
I'm going to start watching more videos and stuff when I, have the time to watch things more,
Yeah.
But anyway, so that is the topic for today, and this was spurred on because, one, episode 69, I mean, come on. And secondarily, we had a question a long while ago at this point that was posed to us as a thing to address. So, in our Discord, we have a channel. If you haven't joined the Discord, please do. It's really fun in there.
No.
So, okay, thanks. But we had a question that was, or a suggestion, sorry, that was from Blue Destiny 87 in there. And they said, I believe you had a different name before. But I would like to also see y'all address PC and PC romance in a campaign. So I thought
he's from the deep south, just like me.
Yeah.
Howdy there, whatever your name was. I already forgot it.
Good job. Yeah.
Sorry.
Very good.
Aiden. I mean, Alejo.
Yeah.
Come to my rescue. What the hell was her name?
Blue
Destiny. Diamond or something?
Blue Destiny. You almost got there.
Blue Diamond. Yeah.
Okay.
Hello. I am also from the south. And I am
go.
also interested in NPC romance, D&D romance and shit.
Yeah, that's true.
What do they call them in there? Fuzzies?
Yup.
On the internets?
That's
Sorry,
true.
I'm done.
That's true.
Man. The non-stop slamming it out of the park on these bits.
Yeah, it's great. I'm so funny.
Don't worry.
Can't you tell from my 8 years of YouTube how funny I am?
Nice. Don't worry. Basically in the same boat, though I didn't pop off.
Yeah. I didn't either.
Yes, you did.
You talked to Brogan about that?
Oh, well.
He's the one who's popping off.
That's true. But you popped off. Don't worry.
Yeah.
You did.
Anyway.
So. Okay, nice. Going down to the fanciest restaurants, flipping romantic tables for two, fine china shattering everywhere, and champagne popping like a Super Bowl locker room. Steely is here for the romance episode. Hey, y'all.
Going to the finest restaurants, huh? You mean Golden Corral?
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Finally, something, anything.
Validation, please. Here. Something, anything. Blue Diamonds and Almonds, right? Yeah, I think so. Something.
It is, yes.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, they have like nuts and shit.
Oh. Well, hey, Steely, how's it going? So,
yes.
Let's just start off with starting thoughts on this, because we kind of touched on it a little bit before and during the comment reading. PC and PC romances. How do you think? What do you think?
It, depending on who wants to actually do it, for lack of a better term.
Sure.
Depending on who actually wants to do it, and as long as there is a clear discussion and, shit established,
sure,
away from the table during a time where they can be like, hey, I think that this actually fits our characters. Would you be comfortable doing this? Because I think that this could, one, be kind of cute, because, it would be these two characters falling in love or whatever. I think that could be fun. Obviously, I have no experience with that, but yeah, as long as there is the two parties like getting together and figuring out if they are comfortable doing that, I see no problem with it. And honestly, depending on who your DM is, I would even say, hey, I would go up to him and say, hey, we are going to go ahead and do this. Are you comfortable running that?
Oh, sure.
You know what I mean?
Nah.
Because now the atmosphere is going to be completely different.
The way you have a real keeper is you can like romance someone else at the table besides your significant other because they're so comfortable in being like in a relationship with you that they just trust you to do whatever, and they recognize that what is in a fantasy game is not indicative of reality.
Either that or they're into cucking, so it's either that or that.
I mean, hey man,
that's true. That's true. You're right.
Don't yuck my yum.
and then see, here's the thing. Now D&D is filling two purposes. One, it is a fun escape from reality where you can fight monsters and do cool shit, and it's foreplay.
Yeah, wow.
Sorry.
No. Please no.
I can't get any laughs when I do the southern voice, so now I got to be reprehensible.
Okay. Agree with Aiden 100%. I would also agree.
Yes, absolutely. I do too. I just had to make the joke.
Right, of course.
Somebody else is gonna.
Well, that's the thing. We're usually, most of the time, we're all sensible adults, right?
Yes.
We know what we're doing. We know, all this shit, and you can discern reality from fiction. Like that's or fantasy, excuse me.
Yes.
That's.
What do you mean? I'm a level 5 rogue.
Well, I mean, yes. I never said you weren't, to be fair.
What do you mean? I thought, Alejo, I always thought you were an ink devil. I always thought you were like 2 feet tall. You telling me you're not?
You could also say that, I guess. I am very short.
2.5.
2.5, that's right. It's one of those things where I am like, yeah, fucking whatever you want to do with your characters, do whatever you want to do with your characters. Like, if you get to that point where you think that your character is going to fall for this other character, sure, talk to the other player. Like, figure out if this is something that... Because, like, the last thing you want to do is just spring this on them, right?
Yeah.
And just go, my character is starting to have feelings for your character. And, like, you say... But you don't say that. You just go, like, my character is... sidling up to like what all that kind of stuff where you start to hint at it instead of like having this discussion beforehand, because that's just like at that point you're gonna make somebody uncomfortable.
And here's the thing,
if not the whole table.
If you have the discussion and say, hey, my character is starting to have feelings for your character, and they're like, okay, yeah, I'm down to roleplay that, then you can still say that my character is like sidling up slowly. You can have that whole like nervousness thing be a part of it.
Sure. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, as long as it's, again, something that you don't just bring up out of the blue, right? And if you're in a group where you're already comfortable with a lot of, like, I know, I'll use Critical Role as an example. In Critical Role, they've had romances between the PCs. That's been a thing. And it's not like significant other with significant other. It's just there are romances there. They play them out, and they're all very comfortable with that because, one, they're all friends. They've done this for a long time, and also they all know, of course, it is a fantasy. And this works for their character because of whatever events that have happened in the story and all that shit, right? Like, it's fine at that point when you're in that kind of a group to just kind of develop that. And hell, I would assume that they also had conversations beforehand because they talk all the time, right? Like,
and they're consummate professional role players.
Yeah.
And not professional as in they make money from it, just professional as in they're very, very
well, they
good
also
at it.
do, so yes.
And not consummate as in they're getting laid, consummate as in the definition of...
Yes, the actual word.
Yes.
But yes, so...
Not consummate as in consummate.
Right.
Yes, it's consummate as in consummate. That's why I said consummate.
Yes.
You big bastard.
He's speaking to
Hey,
those who might have misheard.
It's episode 69.
Yeah, that's true.
What bit am I supposed to go with? What bit is left for me but this one?
That's true.
That's right. I took all the other obvious ones like Southern.
Yeah,
And that's
that's
it.
why.
I game with my wife, so we tend to be a couple in-game. In general, we follow the idea that the game is like real life. If people would find behavior awkward IRL, they likely will in-game. If it's cute IRL, it's probably cute in-game. So that's the thing, though. You have to be careful with that, because some people might not find things cute. Or awkward. It's just, again, you have to know,
especially.
Well, you have to know, true. You have to know your table, you have to know your fellow players, your DM. Like, it's this whole thing of your group needs to be the right group for this kind of thing. I wouldn't want to start a romance with random people, right? If I'm just joining a random online session,
just walk up to the Adventurers League table, raise an eyebrow, be like, "Sup, baby?"
Right? Like, well, that's the thing. Like, in doing that, it would just be weird. And I remember we watched a Crit Crab video way back, right?
Mm-hmm.
The DM pushing, or sorry, the DM and not the DM. Sorry, the DM was trying not to show any kind of advances to this person who joined their game, because they were trying to use it to seduce them and all that shit, and it was just like fucking out of the blue and weird, right? So like, you don't want to do that shit. You just don't. It's fucking weird. You be mature about it. Like, you're an adult, or maybe you're not, but you should be more mature about it anyway. At that point, like, I think you're mature enough to know boundaries and, all
you're
that kind
old
of stuff.
enough to be socially interacting with people via D&D. You're old enough to know the bounds of what is considered acceptable and what's considered kangoo and what's considered awkward.
Absolutely. And
But
if people
doesn't equal awkward?
And if not always.
No, not always.
Sometimes it just makes you just
Yeah, it's just okay. Fair enough.
Sometimes it's a bit about a southern gentleman, which is
Gentleman.
Okay, level 5 rogue, you mean stealer of hearts. Yes, that's true.
Oh god.
So I think that's basically it, unless
I mean, hell, so basically level 5 rogue stealer of hearts. So you mean the fucking Thief of Virtue from fucking Elder Scrolls? Aiden, you didn't read that book?
I have not.
You don't read all the books in Skyrim, you piece of shit. Yeah, nothing to that. That's what you said.
It sounds familiar, but no, I've not read them. Although when you said you've not read that book, that threw me for a real loop, because I've read both of the Elder Scrolls books.
Oh no, it's a book
He's talking about
within the game.
In-game book.
Yeah. I trust me, I figured it out.
Okay. Yeah, we game with people who we know are fine with the type of romance we play. I should mention that we play it very lightly and innocent. Fair enough.
Okay.
Oh darn, I got that reference. Good.
Nice.
So
I think that's
the
really...
question is, where's the reference where you know who lifts her tail is?
Oh, that's the easy one, man. I won't give it away, but that's easy.
That's true. If you know, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't want to. Like, if you're asking someone, it's like, "Oh, do you know this reference?" I'm not going to say, "Oh, hey, it's this." When you're not asking me.
Right, of course.
Yeah,
it's true. Well, I never read the in-game quest books. Oh, no one does, except for Brian David Gilbert. Anyway, so
the Chad himself.
Yes. So I think that's everything for PC on PC stuff. Like, that's just our thoughts on it. Unless
hot PC on PC action.
Okay.
What?
That's true. I guess it could be.
Could be.
If you're doing ERP, I guess. There it is. I was waiting for some. Yep. Cool.
I don't. Oh, it's uncomfortable to think about doing ERP at the table. Ooh, I hate it.
Oh, God, no.
You're welcome. Good.
That's why that should be handled by fade to black. You wake up next to,
Yeah, oh, sure.
Yeah,
that's what it should be.
You hear, "Hey, you're finally awake."
And you're on a cart.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's like, so was that like 8 hours of crying normal for you?
Yeah. So yeah.
7 hours and 59 minutes.
New record.
Anyway. So let's move on to the first video of the night. It is, if you are in, which I know one of you isn't, somebody better get in this watch together.
Yeah. I can. I see the video title. It's,
yeah. Oh yeah, please.
Hey, somebody in the chat. Oh, I'm not even in the chat. Fuck.
Nice. So, how to do romance in D&D TTRPG in parentheses. This is brought to us by Basil, Not the Herb. Aha. Get it?
I like that name.
It's pretty good, actually. I like it.
Yeah. So he's the dog from Super.
No, he's the rabbit from Redwall.
Oh, two different references.
Yep.
Nice.
All right. I'll get in the thing. Whatever.
I fucking hope so. Jesus.
About time.
Right?
All right.
But yes.
I've been painting. There we go.
Oh no.
Oh no, painting keeps you from watching videos.
It keeps me from using my hands to open links.
That's true. But yeah, so hopefully these videos that we cover are informative on what we should do, because apparently there are ways to do this.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm here.
I see you.
Why is Kirby dead?
I don't know. There's certainly been some talk and controversy about sexuality issues, and especially consent in TTRPGs. There is a guide to consent specifically, which has variously been praised and criticized. If we're talking about the things like the, what was it? Remember the fucking thing you had to sign beforehand?
Like the D&D consent form, basically?
Yeah, that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we always had the opinion of you shouldn't have to make a form for it. You should be able to ask your players what they're comfortable with,
Yeah.
And like session 0, right?
Yeah, lines and fades, I think it was.
Yeah, and it's just like, I don't know, man. I know, I don't know. The current day and age is strange to me occasionally, so we'll not go too far into it. But anyway, so this video is like 6.5 minutes, so let's go.
Alright. As time marches ever onward, tabletop RPGs have become less about the mechanics and the battles and more about the characters and the narrative. Sure, the grid battles and the rule lawyers will always have a place in this medium, but at the core of these games has always been characters and their stories. The interactions with other player characters and the NPCs, and especially the villains. The wins and losses, the points of no return. I feel even games run strictly for their mechanics have a lasting effect as stories, because that's what they're remembered as. You don't remember a story as, I got a nat 20 and did 30 points of damage in one big swing. You remember it as,
I was gonna say, yeah, wait, what?
Yeah.
I literally was telling my friend today how in the Minotaur battle I did 90 damage in one attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
What did he say, actually? Or she? I don't know.
When he found out that I was like level 7 at the time, he was like, "Good fucking god." Like, yeah, like I deconstructed his battle in like a minute.
Well, every single Minotaur is still alive. I mean, spoilers.
No, I'm talking about the spider battle.
Oh.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Nat 20 grabbed the necromancer mid-air and performed a torpedo suplex that shattered the stone flooring under us. But no matter your level of comfort in role-playing and acting, there's always an aspect of storytelling that this medium has always had trouble with.
Call the police.
And it makes sense. You're playing this game with a bunch.
So I actually have a question for you all.
Okay.
Which is a bit red-pilled.
Oh, I don't know what that
Okay.
means still.
I barely know what it means.
Cool.
Red-pilled.
I've heard red,
Red-
I've heard blue, and I've heard black,
Re-
and I know it's slightly Matrix related, but also politically
Red-
related.
Red-pilled is, I believe, that you see through you see through society as a whole, and you see things for how they really are.
Okay.
I believe.
Sure.
So, or actually, this would be blue-pilled, I suppose.
Okay.
But
Urban Dictionary to the rescue.
Mm.
look it up while I ask this.
Yep.
Given that stereotypically D&D nerds, and God, I'm gonna fucking hate asking this question.
All right.
Given that stereotypically D&D nerds are more strangers to romance, do you think that's why they handle romance so poorly when it comes up in a D&D game?
If we're saying stereotypically,
Yeah.
potentially, I guess.
Yeah. So red pill. Red pill has become a popular phrase among cyberculture and signifies a free-thinking attitude and a waking up from a normal life of sloth and ignorance. Red pills prefer the truth, no matter how gritty and painful it might be. So you were
see.
right.
There you go. Cool. Black pill is like nihilistic, right? Sure.
I
don't know.
imagine.
I can just from context clues probably. But I mean, so this is the thing. Romance is just going to be done either well or not, you know? Like,
Yeah.
in general, it just depends on the DM, depends on the players, right? Like,
Yeah.
depends on what they do, depends on how cringu they are, you know? You never know.
Mhm.
So,
If you have a responsible DM or responsible players, you will quite literally be fine.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so, yeah, and like, I see Slay says, that might be a fair point. And, like, it could be in some cases, sure. Inexperience does mean, you know, inexperience through actions that the characters or NPCs might do, you know. In which case, you gotta know your limitations, and you just kind of, like, you might have to be more hand-wavy about some things. Like, in this situation, you're flirting with this barmaid, we're gonna hand-wave it a bit, you just roll your charisma and we'll see what happens, right?
Mhm.
It
God.
really...
I would have loved if you had done that instead of making me roleplay it out.
I didn't make you roleplay it entirely out. Don't worry. But I did make you roleplay it out because it was funny.
That's not very nice.
He also
He might have
found
been
it
trying.
Okay, fair.
funny. But yes, so.
Of your friends, people you likely don't have any romantic chemistry with, and thus performing these kind of character
know
gushy, sweet, cutesy moments can be a combination
Yeah,
of
man. Aiden and I had sparks flying. Come on.
Yeah. It was visible to everyone else at the table. Why do you think that campaign had to end?
That's true.
It was too strong.
Yeah.
Our D&D time was digging preciously into our couple time.
That's true. If you try to screw with an NPC, be ready for the GM to screw with you. That's true.
Yeah.
hilarious, awkward, and gross. And do we even want to talk about if you happen to actually like the person that you're actually interacting with?
No, God!
But damn it, I love
Memes.
storytelling in these games. I love when players form in-game friendships that bleed into real life. I love when the team gets invested in an NPC's drama, no matter how minor it is. And I love romance. I love love stories, even the bad ones.
It's trash, but it's good.
So, for one of my favorite
Aw, I
creative
didn't think
outlets
Hazel
not
Beats was bad.
naturally catering to human emotions because of human emotions, it can make me a sad game runner. Or it would, if not for the internet! With the World Wide Weeb, players and game masters alike can build so many wonderful stories and worlds from across their own. And with the added mechanic of anonymity, this word, you have the ability to don a drawing you Google searched or commissioned to act as your face. Via Discord, Roll20, or what have you, we can all hide behind our characters and microphones to immerse ourselves deeper into the lives we've written and crafted through all the dice rolls past. Sometimes you can get a bunch of players who don't need to hide behind their characters to immerse themselves in the actual story, and that's totally fine if you're comfortable with that, if you already have a theater background and are able to separate the fact from the fiction. But when you're not so comfortable with putting yourself in that spot, and then you have to act on those thoughts, it's obviously very weird. But consider this. Actors do in fact have to do this all the time, and I don't just mean the paid ones. Even kids have to put on plays where they have to pretend to like each other. You doing this for fun, to flex your ad-lib skills and acting chops, isn't any weirder than what I've already mentioned. And look, let's just cut the bullshit here. If you're watching a video wanting to understand how to get romance in D&D, which I'm very certain I've used every possible means of making sure that's what this video is about, you already were a little curious, or the concept of playing D&D and acting out fictional stories for fictional people is no longer weird to you anyway. And if you want more tips besides hiding behind a screen or getting over the awkward "no!", here are some tips to make your tabletop role-playing games a little bit more romantic, or at least have the potential for it. First off, don't let players do the fuck. Even as a joke, don't roll for how well someone did the ding dang do and go into immense detail about it. You will make everyone uncomfortable or laugh so effectively that nothing will ever be taken seriously at your table ever again. Imply things happen.
I was gonna say,
we have a character in our campaign who is like will sleep with you. Sure. And we've joked about it and stuff like that, but like there's still stakes in our campaign.
Yeah.
We have quite literally a war we're fighting next session. And we've all made plans for if we die, do this.
I assume he's specifically.
Well, I think what he means is don't have romance. He's talking about don't narrate the sex.
That's what I thought as well. I think he's specifically referring to don't go so deep into it that it becomes farcical.
Yes, exactly.
In which case I go, who the fuck does that? And if you do, I assume you're doing it for that kind of effect, right? Because
I would. Because it's so because it boggles the mind to think of someone legitimately narrating a sex scene.
Sure.
Yeah.
That makes me prone to believe that he's in fact warning people out of just rolling in general for a sex scene. And you can 100% do that. I don't necessarily recommend it.
No, I wouldn't either.
But like if it works for your table, okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say I remember our first game that we played. I did that. Actually, it was between two of the player characters, one of mine and somebody else's. We rolled off. Yeah, we rolled off to see who finished first. It was hilarious. And we continued on, and the stakes were not broken.
Roll contestant. Roll
contestant perform checks.
Yeah, sure.
No, con saves and perform checks.
Yeah.
And then if you're making a male character, you gotta roll percentiles when you're making the character. And know how big their junk is.
Right, of course, yeah. But that's the thing. But I agree with what you said. Like, it depends on your table. If you're fine with it, you're fine with it. If you're not, it won't even come up usually, right?
Yeah.
No. Like it came up like session 1 as relevant.
Sure.
Because like everyone was still giggling about it.
Yeah.
And then I don't think it's ever come up again.
Well, so here's my scenario that I'll create for myself and for you to enjoy. Perhaps I
involve me in your brain.
Thank you. I will. So perhaps one day I want to play an escort character. Yes.
All right.
Oh, okay.
Right? Like, what if that's the thing? What if I then want to? That is a major part of it. I don't need the whole scene described, but that's the whole, like, she will or he will sleep with anyone because that's business, right? We can have it be farcical. We can have it be. Everybody hates escort quests. God damn it. But we can have it be something that is more normalized, I guess, in a way that, or it could be farcical in some instances, or it could be used as a resource, if you will, of like, I'm an escort, I can get us past this guard by offering them a free time, you know, like all that kind of stuff. Like you can have this stuff be in the game, but I think I would agree with like not graphically, you know, describing it, because unless you really like have that kind of group, or you want it to be like you're graphically describing it in a funny way that your group will enjoy, I don't know, man. It's just, it depends on your table at that point.
You can describe that once you get the other person in the room. With a pinch, you slowly tug on the bottom of your shirt, and then you fucking suplex them.
Yeah. You suplex them into the bed, and then the next day.
And then the next day, you're fucking standing in front of the very angry innkeeper, and you have to pay for the bed.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, yeah, I was gonna say, I don't even know about you. I was talking about a legitimate suplex.
I'm sure.
Suplex them into the bed. Just suplex them, because suplexes are cool.
Yeah,
they are.
Ray-Jang should have suplexed the Kieran.
Should have.
Damn it.
So yeah, let's continue. Give me more things.
Didn't move. But Game of Thrones did it, and you compare D&D to Avengers, and I hate that Game of Thrones does it, and it is the worst part of Game of Thrones. Fight me. Discuss with your play.
Okay.
So one of the things that they do really well in Game of Thrones, at least the earlier seasons,
yep.
I think he's talking about the books.
Is they make
Even so.
No, well, they do it in the TV.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
Is the characters do things that make sense for them contextually.
Yeah. I mean, so
Like,
if in the book itself they're graphically describing it, then I'm like, I don't know, man. It's a different medium. Like, it's not a one-to-one comparison. Your preference doesn't matter at that point, because again, it's just your preference of whether or not you want to have that in your story that you're reading.
Yeah, that or George R.R. Martin is.
He doesn't know he didn't know what horses were. Come on. Let's not.
Hey, to be fair, neither does Miyazaki.
But like at that point, I'm just
he
like,
knows
okay.
what carriages are, but he doesn't know what horses are.
Like at this point, it's just like, this is irrelevant. I don't care about these people that are arguing of like, oh, you compare D&D to Game of Thrones. It's like, so it gives you a frame of reference, but it doesn't need to be one-to-one, and it isn't one-to-one.
Yeah, more or less, when someone's like, oh, the sex scenes in the game in Game of Thrones are the worst part about Game of Thrones, fight me, I'm more apt to just say I refuse.
Yeah,
because I don't care enough about this situation one way or the other to formulate an actual argument.
And I'm over here going, please tell me what you found inconsistent about their sex. I guess.
And I'm over here saying,
yeah,
who the hell watches Game of Thrones?
No one anymore.
Yeah. Not after season 8. Or whichever one it was.
It was 8. You got
it. Yeah.
Discuss with your players, or open up the chance for players to discuss with you some romantic subplots. Maybe an interaction was really cute, or some light teasing sparked an interest in future storylines for you or your players. Nothing can be more uncomfortable than a DM pushing a character into the PCs, and really vice versa. That's no different with romance potential. Make it clear to both members of the game that one of you feels there's potential here, and you want to explore where that can go in a creative outlet like this, and allow for character growth to build or to end quickly. And especially, go for the long game. As a player, don't rush the romance. Let the moments grow between the characters.
That was a quick point, but I agree. Talk about it. Okay. Quick point, but yes.
Don't rush the romance.
Oh, sorry.
One of the things I find important to do is make sure you both talk to each other and the DM, even if the romance doesn't go anywhere and doesn't lead to everything. Like, maybe it's an unrequited crush or something.
Sure.
Then go ahead and play that out, but talk to each other first. Like, okay, we're gonna do this, and then it'll lead to this, and then it'll lead to this. All right, yeah. And then talk to the DM and be like, hey, here's what we have planned. Will this, like, work for your story? And then the DM will more than likely go, okay, yeah, that sounds interesting. That sounds super neat. I can't wait to see it.
More than likely, yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing is, like, it doesn't have to, like, it can be stuff that you don't even have to coincide with the story, right? Like, it can just be stuff that happens during downtime, or you know, any kind of moments that you want to take. But of course, discuss it with your DM just to make sure that they're aware that this is the direction you're going to be going, so that they can either prepare stuff or see if it ever matters to what they're planning, or if they want to plan things for it, you know? Like, you can have there be tests of faith in each other, or loyalty, or, you know, any of that kind of stuff, if then again, or sorry, if they decide that they want to throw that in there somehow, you know? Because at that point, you're opening up another like way to get plot hooks in, right? Of some sort. So I don't know.
As a player, don't rush the romance. Let the moments grow between the characters. Attempt this whole mushy stuff. And as a GM, don't let your ships blind you to other players' needs. Let the player come to you and then create your reenactment of Lady and the Tramp. D&D is a commitment to time and creation, and some story beats just don't come through until months and sometimes years from their introduction. Treat the in-game relationships with the same level of patience and gravitas. Give them time to happen. Give them time to grow. D&D and any tabletop role-playing game can in fact include romance between player characters and NPCs, and with a creative and mature enough audience, you can make a game with player-to-player romance and not make it awkward. I'll admit you have to already be in a writer and actor's mindset to really pull this off, but that's why a lot of people come to these games, because they want to practice ad-lib, they want to practice acting and putting themselves in situations they normally wouldn't. If that's not for you, if you watch this video and think,
you're
this
just a
didn't convince
nerd
me,
and like killing bugbears.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't necessarily want to practice my acting or anything. I just want to play the game and have fun in the way that I want to have fun. I don't know. Don't have to do acting about this.
that Rome be in D&D, that's fine. It was never supposed to convince you. It was supposed to help those who've always wanted to attempt it or understand that this is not that awkward, it's not that bad, there is a way to make this happen. Just hear someone else say it. Be mature, be respectful, be creative.
Yes.
That's all you have to do to make fun romance in Dungeons & Dragons or any tabletop RPG. I hope this helped you guys ponder the potential of romance in TTRPGs, and that this information can help add that little bit of spice to your already great stories.
Unless they're not. But not great.
Maybe it makes your story great. Who knows?
There we go.
Maybe your entire story sucked, except for that.
Except for that. Okay. I mean, overall, I agree with you. Yes.
Yeah.
Seemed like those 3 points at the end should just have been your header points, right? Like, they should have just been the each of the points that you talked about in specific, but you did it in a roundabout way at least, so you got there. Nice.
Yeah, it was not bad.
It was fine. I was more like looking at the visuals, trying to understand what some of them meant. Right? Like quite literally, I was just like, oh, meme. Oh, other like I understand what you mean for that one at least. But for some of them, I was just like, this just seems like a random picture. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's fine. It's fine. So yeah, that's that one. That didn't take very long at all. So, good thing I have a lot of things to choose from. So, let's do one from someone we haven't covered ever, because I didn't know that they had videos. This is going to be brought to us by World Anvil World Building.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it's
our newest sponsor.
Nope, not sponsored. Please do if you want to. Yep.
Yeah.
We'll see.
That'd be cool.
Maybe one day. We're not big enough though, probably. Who knows? But this is 5 DM tips for handling sex and romance in D&D and RPG campaigns. So 5 tips instead of 3. Maybe they'll overlap, and I hope they do, because those 3 tips that we heard were pretty essential, I would say. Yeah. But yeah, maybe. Oh, also, this video is very quiet, so you might have to turn it up a bit.
Okay.
One of the most overlooked components of RPG games, and one of the greatest tools in our arsenal as GMs, is love and sex. So says the great GM, and he should know. These are 5 tips on dealing with love and sex.
Yeah, why would he know? Why should he know?
Because he's the great GM. How to be a great GM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Okay.
Look at that, a reference to the name.
Yep.
Yeah.
Apologies if you can't hear the video very well in the chat. Please let me know. I will try to fix it.
Let me tell you what I, Sneaky Adolf, think about love in your stories.
Yeah, right?
Joking aside, though, I will say the idea of love and sex, like, is important in stories as a whole.
Sure.
Like, it has been around, like, in some of the oldest stories known to man. It still features prominently. So it is important. It's a strong desire for people, and it makes sense for their characterization and the progression of the plot as a whole. But I don't know why he should know, though.
Yeah.
Again, I think it's literally just because of the title. I think it's literally just that. How to be a great GM.
Are these 2 channels somehow or another affiliated?
Yes, he's done multiple sponsorships for them. Yeah.
Tons and tons of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you ready? Let's light up the forge.
I can barely hear it.
Yeah.
What is the mixing of this?
Oh, sorry. Greetings and salutations. I'm Janet from World Anvil, and today we are talking about love and sex, at least around the table. If you want even more information on these 5 tips, then check out the link in the description to our blog. And make sure you stick around for the challenge at the end so you can put these into practice. Tip number 1, check the sex is right for your campaign setting. So what I mean by this is that you should start by considering your campaign setting and the ramifications of playing within that setting. For example, if you are playing Vampire the Masquerade or Game of Thrones, you're going to expect a lot more grittiness and a lot more adult themes than Tales of Equestria, the My Little Pony RPG.
Wow. Depends on who you ask.
I don't want to go into that. Oh, God.
I hate to mention it, but you may be wrong about that one.
Yeah. Hey, Pizza Funk.
Just in time.
I'm no stranger to the internet.
Yes, exactly.
You should know that too.
Yes.
Hope so. Dear God, I hope so. So have a think about what's
Okay.
appropriate in terms of romance and sex within your setting. If it's out of genre, an explicit encounter is going to feel really weird and it won't have the impact that you're hoping for. Again, see My Little Pony. You can absolutely have romance in an RPG without sex, and you can have sex without romance.
True.
It's really all about genre expectations. Tip number 2 is consent, consent, consent. So we talk a lot on this channel about how not everything is made for everybody. Not every book is made for every reader. Not every campaign is made for every player. This conversation should start in your session 0 as you discuss the campaign and what the players expect and what you expect to make sure
Set
that
up
everybody is happy with
expectations.
what's going to happen and everybody has
Absolutely.
bought into the campaign and is excited to go forwards.
With something like, I mean, obviously the session zeros are important. Set your expectations regardless of your campaign. But with something like, she specifically mentioned Vampire before, and Vampire itself in the book even says, hey man, there are like real shit themes that can be in here that some people might not like. Maybe talk to your players and see if they don't like that shit. And it even has like, on the character sheets, there are chronicle tenets. A chronicle is your campaign. And so...
Oh, that's a cool name for it. Shit.
Yeah. And so basically it's just you write in things that you like you will uphold in the sense of like if you don't want any rape.
Max.
No, I'm like rape specifically. Like something like that
okay.
could super be something that nobody wants to deal with in their game. You write it in that box and then it's like there will be none of that in the campaign. Just to keep you as a reminder as well, you know, all that kind of stuff. It's just to help with in case, you know, you need to set up those boundaries just and have that reminder there as well. And it super recommends it, right?
So that's one of the things where I'm actually a bit prone to disliking that.
Sure.
Simply because for the same reason as like consent sheets.
No,
like,
absolutely.
In this campaign I consent to this.
Well,
aren't really necessary.
Absolutely. And I would say
you should be better than that in general.
I agree entirely. What I'm saying is that the option is there and it is not like super it isn't necessary, right? You don't need to like in order to start a vampire campaign, this isn't a step that you have to take, right? You still are able to just talk to people and just have that as a thing. And it'll just be an additional box for notes basically at that point, you know. It is there on the sheet, but again, it isn't just in your face telling you fuck you, you need to do this, right? It recommends it, but it doesn't tell you you have to do it.
Because, like, I was gonna say, like, if I'm gonna be a shit person, signing my name and a form on a piece of paper isn't going to prevent me from doing that.
No, yeah, and it's not like signing anything or anything like that. It is just like, these are the tenets that we're gonna uphold just in case we need that to be written down somewhere, you know? And again, you don't need to do it, whatever, but it is just there if you need it for that kind of feel. So the option is nice, but it is an option and not a requirement, which is the distinction.
If you're thinking of throwing in something that's a little risque, check again closer to the time, but not immediately before, so it's still a surprise, that your players are still happy and they're still comfortable. You might want to have this conversation in private, because a lot of players don't feel comfortable discussing this in public. By the way, that's a good tip that they may not want to play out these scenes around the table as well.
So that's actually, I do something very similar to that. When I set up a session 0, I'm like, tell me if there's anything like in your past that you're uncomfortable being brought up with. Like, I'm not asking for a story or a justification. Just if you're uncomfortable with anything in particular, let me know and it will not occur in this campaign.
Yeah, exactly.
Just PM it to me. Like, don't even tell me in this call. Just PM me privately and say I'm uncomfortable with this because of this reason, and no one will know that like it was like you that was uncomfortable with this. I want everyone to be comfy at my table.
Exactly.
You don't want everybody to be comfy, or you do?
I do want everyone.
Oh,
to
do
be
one.
comfy.
Okay, yeah. I could have sworn I heard you say you don't.
Oh no.
All right, I've downloaded an
You just don't want
extension.
me to be comfortable at your table.
No, never.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never did.
Mm. I would honestly love to play under you because I've never been run by you before.
True.
And I always hear such interesting things about your campaign.
To be fair, I don't think Alejo
Nope.
has been in a. Neither has Brogan.
Nope.
Yeah,
None of us have
played under you.
Yeah, it would be fun.
Yeah,
I've played
I would
under both
super-
Brogan and Alejo.
Yep.
None of us have played with me as DM yet. We have 7 campaigns planned for you as DM.
Yeah, right?
You just gotta take
Although-
some initiative, my dude.
Yeah, I know. The thing is, I'm gonna once the Devils and Dice ends, I'm taking a break from.
Oh,
DMing.
absolutely. Oh, I
Hey, boo.
wouldn't put it past
Yeah.
you.
I don't give a shit about 7th C. I'm DMing.
Okay,
There you go.
I can't wait to play that. Honestly, fuck.
Let's add a 5th campaign that I'm DMing.
Yeah, right.
That's right. You didn't want any free time, right?
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
yeah,
no.
Yeah, him.
Important mantra here that is my personal mantra, and that is consent is paramount and player agency is sacred. So your players should never be forced into doing something because that takes away their player agency. That takes away their ability to make decisions. And after all, that's what they're at the table to do. As a GM, I think it's really important that we are on the side of the players and that we should be working towards telling a good story. So you can put them in a difficult situation, but they should always have an out if they want it. And speaking of which, safety tools are wonderful. I highly suggest you check them out. So safety tools are things like X cards. These are cards that players can hold up if they are not comfortable with how things are going, not just for sex and romance, but for anything that might be happening. And they're a wonderful way for players to express that they are uncomfortable without having to explain why. For example, if I'm having a meltdown because the giant spider has just walked into the room and I cannot deal with it, I have a big phobia of spiders, then I can use an X card to say, I am not okay with this. Can we remove the spider? The spider instantly becomes something else. There's a little retcon and everyone around the table is comfortable. I don't have to explain that my horrific fear of spiders comes from the time that a giant tarantula came here in my face when I was doing field work in Italy. No, I can just hold up the X card and we can move on. Really, really useful, and I've linked
That's
in
a
the
weird
description
fucking
a great article
gif.
about safety tools.
It's definitely a stock GIF, definitely.
I know, but it's just a weird GIF.
Yeah, I know. Well, dude, have you seen some of them? God, they're so strange. They have so many.
Yeah,
I guess
come-
not.
Come on, Boo. Where's your recollection of the origins of forest fruits?
But that wasn't a GIF, though.
It's true.
It wasn't a GIF, no, but it was stock.
It's true.
Well, it was 5-minute crafts, which I consider to be stock.
It's basically
anyway.
stock. At this
Yeah,
point,
pretty much.
yeah. I've heard of something. Oh yeah, X card. Yeah, she just said it. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. If you need that kind of stuff, use it. That's basically my opinion on it.
I mean, I would hope that you would set up expectations in your session 0 to the point where X cards aren't necessary,
Right.
and you know that one of your players has severe arachnophobia.
Yeah, I would think.
So you just don't throw a spider at them at all.
Yeah.
In fact, it sounds like an unnecessary product of someone trying to sell a product that isn't needed. But
Well, so I would say it could also be useful for cases of which you didn't realize you would be uncomfortable, right?
Yeah, it can also be that.
Like, you might not know you are uncomfortable for this sort of thing, because, like, let me tell you, and I've said it before, I can't stand frogs. I had no idea that frogs would be something that fucked me up until the one day, right? Like,
How, if you don't mind me asking, how did you acquire your fear of frogs?
I have no fucking idea. But when I encountered one, it was It was way back. We had moved to a new house. A frog had gotten stuck under a stairwell to the foundation for the house because the house hadn't been put on there yet. It had been stuck, and I told my mom, and she was like, "Okay, go get it and get it out of there so it doesn't die." And I was like, "Okay." So I went and I saw it again, and like I looked at it for a while, and I couldn't go near it, right? And I was just like,
I remember
fuck.
you telling me about it the next day.
Yeah.
And being like, yo, guess what I just learned about myself?
Yep. I had no fucking idea. And basically, like, I had to get my mom to do it, and she also was like, "It's just a frog. Here, touch it." And I was like, and then I did, and then I cried. So, yeah. And I was, like, older, so it was fucked up. I didn't know until it happened, and now I know, so I can't deal with it.
Yeah. At first, I thought, like, there was something that had happened to make you scared of the frog.
Nope. Yeah.
Well, it did. It's just...
It was just it existing.
It existed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I have no fucking idea. Like,
so then, what do you think of frog hemoths?
So it really depends on how they're depicted, frogs, right? Like I can deal with cartoony frogs. I can deal with some artist renderings of frogs. The more realistic it is, the less I can handle it.
Dude, thank every god, holy, unholy, and in between, that I did not know about that fear sophomore year. Because like, it's not a guaranteed thing, but it is not a non-zero chance.
Yep. I know
that I might have just like put up a tree frog as your desktop wallpaper.
That I wouldn't have been surprised had somebody done that to me. Absolutely, that's the thing. I'm a lot better now. I can kind of handle it a bit, but I will still like have a moment of just and just like retreat into myself for a second, and then scroll the fucking page and close it or whatever I need to do to get it out of there.
Like when I see it, like say I see like a funny meme or something that revolves around a frog. My knee-jerk reaction is, I should show this to Alejo and them. And then I go, wait, no, shit, hold on.
Yeah, it's the worst part, because like I love that the old fucking meme of dat boy. I love oh shit, what up? It's that boy. And then
what's your opinion of Pepe?
I love Pepe. Pepe. Yeah, yes, Peep. And Peepo, excuse you.
Yes. You mean
there's also Peepo.
Pepe Sylvia?
Yes, Pepe Sylvia. Yes.
You mean Peppa Pig?
Oh God, no. Oh, throw her in the fire forever. But yeah. So, what about Slan? They're on a border, but I can tolerate them enough.
Their lips are so big that they're pretty much cartoons.
Yeah, but even so, it's like it depends, right? Like in Total War, I can deal with it, right? Like I can play the game and I'm fine. But like, I don't know if I could handle a model. I don't know.
Oh, and shit, you play fucking Seraphon.
I do have some lizardmen, and I do want to make a lizardman army. So
eventually after your orcs,
yeah, so, we'll see how it goes. But,
just don't run into any Slan.
Well, that's the thing, yeah. But they're incredibly good. That's the problem.
I know. There are skink priests that are also really good.
That is also true. But yeah, so anyway, this is not on topic. But yeah, so that's what I assume that the cards can be for, though, that can be useful, is just like, but even so, I would also say just text your DM or like pull them aside or do something, and then like you still get the option of not telling everyone why. There's nothing about the card that makes it inherent that you need to, like, you can make your own and just go fucking stop, and then they will, as long as they know what that means, as long as you explain to them that, I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah, I just have a standing policy of you don't even need to compromise your own not like your own confidentiality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like that, a non-zero chance. Yeah, it's a good phrase.
More about them as well. Tip number 3 for handling sex and romance as a GM is that you don't have to roleplay it if you're not comfortable. So, flirty moments are
Just a personal pet peeve. Don't do awkwardness. I get what you're doing. but when-
Awkwardness?
Yeah, because they're trying to do awkwardness, but they're trying to do it in a quirky way that relates to gamers so that
Oh,
all
God.
the TTRPG people
Is that what they
see
said?
that.
I was looking at a different window for a moment.
Well, it's just on the top left right now. That's the tip. I know they're not going to say it that way, but
at the moment it just says consent to me.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, I see awkwardness.
It's at 420 for me, so
I'm
yeah.
at 420 as well. Maybe it hasn't changed yet.
Okay, yeah. But so it's literally like I have this thing where if you're doing that and it's not clever enough, it's just annoying. So
It's pandering.
please. Yes, absolutely. And so it's just
But-
like I don't know.
But Alejo,
That's personal
Alejo,
preference. So
Have you considered that I am a gamer and I won't know that they are a gamer if they don't say awkward?
I did consider that, and then I considered that you should stop considering that.
And then, like, here's the thing: orcs aren't really awkward. Not
Right,
really.
it's just for the fucking pun. That's the worst part, right?
But
It's
the pun failed. No,
I know, that's what I'm saying. The pun failed, right?
Who
It's
is
just like
the master of flopping bits?
shut up! Get out of here, you big bastard!
Which
Um,
now it strikes me, I meant that as in like
I
a
know.
bit that flopped.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
But now I realized how incredibly relevant it is talking about flopping bits on episode 69.
Yeah, there you
Jesus
go.
Christ.
But yeah, it's just every time I see it, it's just like, oh, cool. I understand. Like, do it in a smart and clever way that will make me laugh. Don't do it in a way that just makes me go, I see what you did. Stop.
Don't do it. Don't do it like me.
On sensitive subjects, my best friend lost a leg a couple years back. He's taking it pretty well and makes jokes all the time about things like not having a leg to stand on, etc. I still asked him if he was still sensitive about the subject, but it's interesting how people sometimes aren't sensitive about things you think they would be. Oh yeah, it always depends on the
Yeah.
person. Like I will tell people about my shit, and I will make jokes at my own expense, and I'll let these fuckers make jokes at my expense about it. We've done it all the time.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, and it doesn't fucking matter at this point.
I was at work today and my friend like pushed a cart basically into an obstacle. And I looked at him and I sort of sighed and I'm like, come on, dude. I'm the one who has car accidents.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good one.
Jesus.
Oh, it's just like how pronounced Canada. Canada. Yeah, that's also that. Well, yeah, that's definitely. Anyway, it's so my point is just my personal preferences. Don't fucking do that. It's really stupid and pandering. Stop.
around the table can be anything from hilarious to moving to downright uncomfortable. Sure, if your player or your GM is your spouse, then that's one thing. But it can get really awkward around the table if you guys don't know each other very well, or if there's a weird dynamic going on. Don't worry about it. You don't have to roleplay it. That's what the mechanics are for.
It can
What I
get
suggest is that you
absolutely
roll
wonderful
the mechanics according to the system. That might be
if
charm,
a couple
seduce.
is at like sitting at the table with you and they break into a couple's argument. And you're just sitting there with like your Oreos or something like, yes,
Yeah, just
good. Fight for
looking
my
back and forth.
amusement.
You don't have to roleplay it. That's what the mechanics are for. What I suggest is that you roll the mechanics according to the system. That might be charm, seduce, a will save, or whatever. And then describe
save.
what happens in the third person. That gives you a little bit more distance. So she says this, or she does this, or she stands back.
This
from
is actually
Bartels.
a very good way to distance yourself if you're uncomfortable with the situation.
Yeah.
Going into third person. definitely can do that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
The thing that I see though, that happens a lot is that people just keep being in third person even when they want to be more involved with their character. So like maybe, notice if you're in not in like a situation that you're uncomfortable, of course, but like if you're in a situation that you just want to role play the character out, you can stay in first person. Like I understand, like some people even correct themselves midway when they're doing first person to like he will do this. And it's like, no, I understand you're playing the character. Right? Like you can keep playing the character. You are the character at that point. Sure. Let's go for it. That's fine. But if it is something with uncomfortability, yeah, that can help a lot.
Around, she gives you her room key, absolutely fine. It's much easier if you're feeling awkward than to inhabit the first person. So that's a little tip. The way that you react as a GM, even out of character, is going to affect the way your players take what's going on as well. If you're trying to do a serious scene and you roll the dice and giggle, it's just going to descend into silliness. So if you are aiming for a more serious flirtation scene or a more serious romance scene, make sure you keep your composure, even if you don't play in first person. Tip number 4 is fade to black.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
because like the thing is that like, okay, a decent enough way to make this analogy would be to talk about sex itself. Like,
sure.
Unrelated from D&D.
Sure.
Where, here's the thing. If you are in an intimate moment with someone that you are attracted to, and they are attracted to you as well, and you're both in love, something funny or amusing will probably happen during sex. It is okay to laugh and then just get back into it.
Yeah.
That doesn't destroy the moment.
No.
And in fact, being able to laugh in that moment with your significant other can kind of help strengthen the bond a bit, because depending on who the funny thing happens to during sex, that can be very scary, because then you're like, oh God, has that ruined this whole experience?
Sure.
You know?
So, how would I put it? There two thoughts on the idea of like giggling during like intimacy or something.
Sure.
The first of which is there is the NPC in my campaign that I have my soul bonded to by the god that we both worship, and just last session started wearing it's a magic item that is a wedding band, but the character is just like the diamonds in these wedding bands can be used to cast resurrect and revivify.
Right.
If they're going to take a hit that'll down them, they can drop to 1 HP instead, and I can elect to take the excess damage. So it's a once per day use of relentless endurance. And if I do take the excess damage, then they have a second action which they can use to dash, disengage, or hide. So for my character, who's like, well, yes, this is a very good and useful magic item in the battle that's upcoming. Why would I say no? We're being offered it for essentially free. Like, yeah, I've offered to buy this person magic items because this paladin who likes me, like the whole reason I wanted her like fighting on the team with me is because we're both paladins. We can both keep my friend's character alive, and my friend's character's wife is pregnant. And I'm like, God damn it, I will make sure those children have a father. That's the whole reason why I reached out to the paladin who liked me, is I'm just like, we need to keep this person alive. And then like cue shenanigans, buying a wedding band, putting it on, and being like, Well, yes, it'll up our battle efficiency and make it so that we can keep my friend alive. Why would I not? Yeah. What do you mean? It's a wedding band. No, it's a ring. We're not married. What are you talking about? We never had a ceremony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This wasn't. What are you talking about? At this point, we would just be shacking up in sin. Then we weren't wed under the fucking watchful eye of the Lord God Bahamut or Bahamut, whatever.
Well, my character's asexual.
There you
go.
Doesn't even want that stuff.
So, like, I, as a player, love this bit. Like, everyone at the table finds it hilarious.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, this is, like, there's stakes. It's life or death. There's survival or dying in a war. There's being married. There's stakes that matter in the game, but we still 100% do giggle outside of that game.
Yep.
Or outside of that moment. The second reason for the whole like giggling, and Boo brought it up, but I will just second it, is that you can 100% laugh with your partner in an intimate moment.
Yeah.
I have, for instance, accidentally blown a raspberry on a person's armpit.
Very cool.
Accidentally, okay.
Accidentally on purpose.
And when it happened, both of us just broke into tears laughing at how silly it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can
like
spice the moment up a little bit.
Shit happens. Life is life.
Yeah. Many examples of it. I'll third that point. Absolutely. So yeah.
So the moment that you fade to black, how far you let things progress before you end the scene, is defined by the amount of adult content in your genre and in your campaign.
Sure.
All campaigns have their own baseline, and you, as a GM, will know where yours is roughly. It's both the amount of adult content that's in your game and also the amount of player emotional investment. If your campaign is lighthearted and jokey and sort of PG, you might have a few flirty remarks, the door closes, and then you fade. A more adult game might have a few more explicit moments before things disappear into the darkness. This is the moment to watch your players and read the room and make sure everybody is comfortable with what's going on.
Read the room beforehand, watch your players beforehand, make it all beforehand because session 0, and also know your players.
Yes.
Player wants to go further and you feel like other people are getting uncomfortable, you can always ask them to put it in a player journal or to play a solo scene if it's story important.
Go fucking write your smut in the player journal. That's enough out of you. You go write your erotica over there.
Unless it is vampire, in which case let's fucking lay that fan fiction on the table, baby.
Even more important than the fade is what happens afterwards. This sort of epilogue or after scene, I think, is often forgotten, and it's just as important, if not more so, than the before moment. For a light-hearted scene, it may be more witty banter, it may be a few lovelorn looks, and then the player gets on with the campaign. If the encounter is more serious, or if the game is more serious...
Skeleman was pretty cool. They had fucking smoking drinks too. It was great.
They had drinks with dry ice.
Yeah.
Go back to the first GIF.
Yeah.
Serious. May be more serious ramifications to the encounter as well. This epilogue is a chance to explore those and go into them. How does the player character feel? How does the NPC or the other character feel? This is the stuff that makes romance and sex not just a moment at the table, but something that becomes interesting
That's
as
true.
character development and a
to the story.
And speaking of which, tip number 5 is consequences. So
Shit, you're
gonna
pregnant.
want to check first with your
Yeah.
players for some of these.
And
because
that's a
some of
penalty
them
to
have
movement
major-
speed and AC, and you're gonna take extra damage. Yeah.
Dude, if your
Oh,
campaign,
and also, every morning. Yeah.
dude, if your campaign is going on more than 9 months in Worlds, that is a long ass
Yeah.
campaign.
Yeah.
Well, you can have some downtime for a while,
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. After the war next session, we have downtime
Yeah.
of 1 year.
There you go.
Nice.
A whole pregnancy can happen. Wow.
My character who is asexual and like barely even knows what sex is.
Yeah, so but I do want to also go. We talked about it before, fading to black. Yes.
Yes.
Makes it easy.
character change consequences, and you're going to want to see that they are comfortable with them. But there are so many interesting consequences that you can create from sexual encounters.
True.
And it can make great storytelling fodder. I'm sure most of you have considered conditions like STDs or your world's equivalent. These are a great consequence or ramification of a sexual encounter. But how about
Interesting.
We had a druid in our campaign who, among other things, was very memeable.
Right.
But he, while in sheep form, he fucked a sheep.
That's right.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah. I remember you telling us about that.
So I gave him fleas.
As you
Sure,
should.
yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, I'm okay with it being a consequence. It has to matter a bit, I guess, because like for that, it's like you fucked a fucking sheep. Like, of course I'm gonna like that's not something you do.
Yeah, no.
Get a flea.
Everyone at the table, I'm not gonna tell him no, you can't do this, but I am gonna have my petty revenge.
Yeah, sure. And it works for your table, but for some things it'd just be like, well, okay, so do we want to deal with that, right? Do we want to deal with an STD? Also, magical thing that gets rid of all diseases immediately.
Yeah, he at first immediately thought he had a disease and he went to get the disease cured.
Sure, yeah.
And then it did nothing, and he was like, "What the fuck? I spent 400 gold on that." I'm
Fair
like,
enough.
It's not magical.
It's not magical, dude. But this is what I'm saying. Like, if you want to do the STD route, we have to then consider magical healing is a thing. Disease treatment is incredibly easy, unless, of course, you don't have a cleric with you, or you can't afford a cleric. Sure, okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. Then you're making money to afford a cleric, so you don't have an STD. Sure. Then I would also say before she gets there, maybe there's some consequences of like the person didn't tell you that they're actually married to the guard captain, and then the guard captain finds out, and now the guard captain hates you, and stuff like that. You can do a lot of different things with it, absolutely. But I'm just wondering, like for STDs specifically, it's like, do you really want to deal with that? If you do, sure, absolutely, that's fine. Go for it. I assume we're in a situation that it's going to be hard for it to be cured, and it might not even show up for a while, or all that kind of stuff, right? Whereas like something like I was playing a campaign for a little while that I was a cleric, and I got lesser restoration at a point, and I was like, okay, cool, I can do this now, and I can help people, cool. And then I started making money by healing the local mercenary band who was sleeping with all the prostitutes, and they had like the clap and all that kind of stuff, and it was like, yeah, you heal up my guys so that they can continue to fight, so that when we actually go and leave, they're in fighting form, and you can have money, and you can come with us for the adventure thing that you need to do. And I'm like, okay, sick, right? Because then it's just like, oh, I'm just using this to take away the disease immediately. It's gone. Wow, amazing.
best way to play a paladin because they can get immune to diseases.
It's also true. Also true.
Wouldn't it be pretty funny to play a paladin who's basically just a fuckboy?
Yeah, dude. Chaos Paladin. Go!
It's like
More magical consequences and conditions. For example, sure, the PC disappeared off into a brothel, but what if that brothel is run by vampires?
That's what you're
Surprise!
Or if it's a
Now you're
beholder.
vampire. What do you do next? Another obvious consequence of a sexual encounter is a pregnancy and a child on the way. Again, you may want to discuss this with the player in question.
May.
You know your table and you know your players best, so you'll know.
No, I wouldn't say may. You
You need
should.
to.
You should discuss this with your player. Because, like, I mean, just dropping this on them, I mean, sure, it's a thing that we all know might happen. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. But also, like, if you don't drop it beforehand that this is a possibility that, like, we're going to have these kinds of consequences, you know, in our game, right?
If you're old enough to be having sex in your D&D game, you should know what the biological purpose of sex is.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
So my wizard, right? He flirts with this barmaid and they go upstairs. I'm gonna cast shield on my dick.
There you go. Yeah. That's the way. That's how wizards do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think that beforehand you should at least like if we're going, because I'm going to say like some people aren't going to think of this stuff and they're just going to do shit, and it's like if you don't establish in your session 0 the tone of like, yeah, your actions will have consequences, all of your actions,
Yes.
right? Like, I feel like that should be stressed at least, because in your session 0 you should anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't even be that much of a jump.
It shouldn't be.
Like, when I was talking with the ex of mine in like one of my campaigns, she was like, so what happens if someone has sex? Because we were talking about the fact that you can go in and where you can do anything,
Sure.
say anything to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was new to D&D.
Sure.
And she was like, what do we do if a child is born?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what do you do if a child is born?
Yeah, absolutely.
That is up to you all as a party of adventurers.
Yeah, I agree. I agree that but that's the thing. She asked the question, right? I don't think many people are going to ask the question. So I feel like you should at least inform them of the fact that consequences exist, right? And then if they don't ask the question at that point, it's like, well, okay, hopefully they understand that is going to happen if you do that, right?
Hopefully they know that holding hands makes babies.
Well, so this is the thing. I don't know, man. I also, like, I agree that people should know this. They should understand that, and there should be, but a lot of people don't play it that way. That's the thing.
A lot of people play it beard pretzels.
Well, yeah. But what I'm saying is just like, as long as your group, I mean, you'll know your group, right? And so you'll know whether or not they'll make that leap of logic. It's not really a leap, it's more of a little tiny shuffle, but you know what I mean. If they don't give a fuck about it, then you don't give a fuck about it. If they might actually consider it, then you should consider it, right?
Yeah,
should work like that.
It's not a leap in logic. They just start humming, you put your left foot in, you put your left foot out.
Exactly.
That's necessary. But this is a wonderful way to develop a character further. If they turn their back on the child, or if they choose to support them, there are so many things that will cause them to change their perspective on the world. Does this galvanize their need to make the world a better place? Does it bring up feelings from their own background, from the fact that they were orphaned, or their own tragic backstory? If your character is religious, particularly if there's somebody divine-powered, like a cleric or a paladin, then have a think about how this might affect their status within their community, the way other people look at them, and also their relationship with their deity. If they've done the naughty with somebody who is out of an opposite faith, has that had any impact? And if they keep doing it, is it going to cause them to lose some of their power?
Could.
And my favorite consequence is that the person that they had this sexual encounter with was not who they thought. I love this because you can use it in so many interesting ways. They might be a secret agent or a spy. They might even be the big bad themselves. What they thought was a brief sexual encounter was actually somebody rifling through their belongings to try and find more information about their plan. And you can bring this character back later, surprise, and introduce some really interesting dynamics, create really wonderful moments for your table and for your party.
This is off, like, just the visuals of the video. It's super weird that she used the current She-Ra for that. That was weird.
That's what She-Ra. That's She-Ra.
Yeah, that's the current She-Ra, where they're like fucking 13.
Teenagers. That's weird.
It's just
At
weird.
least
to
the new
see.
He-Man is going to be better.
Yeah,
At least
Yeah,
from the
it
trailer.
is.
From
Yeah,
the trailer.
From the trailer, it looks at least faithful.
Yeah.
Or at
Yeah,
least
sweet.
updated, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Just a little bonus tip, of course, if your player falls in love with an NPC, you can always use them as a quest giver, as somebody who has been abducted. They
Yo.
make absolutely wonderful reasons to go on quests. They make great ways to motivate your party. Motivate. And yeah, in general,
What was
playing
the-
with those...
Yeah, Why air quotes for
what's
motivate?
what's the air quotes?
Yeah, what...
Is
think
the
it-
motivation
I think
not
it-
real?
I think the idea that the premise of their motivation is sexual in nature means that the word motivate is hence deserving of air quotes somehow.
I don't know. I
Even
don't know
though
if that's
she
the
just
case.
said love.
Yeah.
So-
I was gonna say it's
Yeah.
they've fallen in love. They're with the NPC. So
I want to keep my wife from getting brutally murdered.
sure.
Yeah, that's not
yeah.
exactly
That-
something that I have to
that-
be like,
that
I want to
that is a-
maybe.
That I want to keep my wife from getting brutally murdered. That's a quote motivation.
Quote.
Yeah, it is a motivation. I wouldn't say so weird quote. No, don't need the quotes.
Yeah,
It's just weird.
very odd.
It's very, very useful. So whenever you see a player being drawn to an NPC, that's a great way for you as a GM to start thinking about all the horrible things you can do to that NPC to get your party excited, motivated,
Baby on the
active,
way.
and emotionally involved with your game. And that, after all, is why we do the thing. It's challenge time. So your challenge, should you choose to accept it, is
Oh boy.
create a love interest NPC for one of your PCs and add a consequence.
Okay.
You're going to be using the character template on World Anvil for this. And
Oh,
if you click
oh,
in the
I
description,
see.
that's where you can submit your prompt and see others as well. Remember to detail why the NPC will be an appropriate love interest for this character, and think about ways you will make them appear.
So creating it for the character, I'm less about it because if the character falls in love with something, it's usually natural. It's not that something has been handcrafted for them. It's there's an NPC in the world. Like I've in my Wednesday games, we've had a number of times where some characters have romanced with NPCs. Actually, it's been only specific players, but it's not been intentional. Like that's the thing. It just happens.
It just happens.
Right? Yeah. So it's just like, oh, they've developed this bond over time. That's just what's happening. You know, it's not anything like I crafted this NPC to. No, the NPC was crafted to give us a quest and also to join us with this quest, right?
Yeah, it just so happens that they are attracted to the personality that you are emulating.
Exactly, and like that will just happen. I don't know, like maybe if the player themselves like says I want to have a love interest at some point. Then it's like, okay, we can work together.
I want to give my character a bit of depth. Here's what my character might find attractive.
And then we work together and you tell me what you want to see and I will try to make that for you. Like, it's not just out of the blue, I'm going to make this character. It's weird. It's just weird to not say work with your player to maybe make this work. I don't know. Because, like, this challenge is very much just that challenge itself. And she's going on to explain more, and I hope she says, talk to your player about it or something, right? Like, because at this point, it's just like, I don't fucking know.
You tell me what you want to see in this character, and then I will tell you tough shit because D&D is not a visual medium.
God damn it.
Heal character as well. And think about an interesting consequence that will add a new dimension to that player character as well. You'll be using the character template
falling in
on World
love
Anvil
in
for
and of
this,
itself
which is
not
absolutely
interesting?
full of
I don't
prompts
know.
to develop characters in more detail. And once you're done, make sure you pull them into the campaign manager.
Okay,
where
this is becoming.
Yeah, this
ad.
is just
this is
teaching how to
becoming
use
ad.
World Anvil.
Okay.
Can't really fault them because this is
No,
their
I
channel.
know it is their channel,
so,
but it's just
yeah, we don't
Not-
need to see this.
not necessary at this point. Okay. Yeah.
It's fine.
It's okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's nothing.
it is okay.
There's nothing inherently wrong. There's nothing I
Yeah.
really have against it.
There's nothing bad to speak about, but so much of what is discussed should be so painfully obvious
I would say so.
that it does not warrant a video being made on it at all.
Yeah.
But as we all have seen in multiple videos that we cover, they are because a lot of people don't seem to notice.
Yeah.
Or have some sort of notion that some things aren't allowed or any of that
or
kind of
shouldn't be
stuff.
done or whatever
exactly.
what have you.
I have a question. How common is the term session 0? I don't see it used in videos you cover often, so it seems like it's something less common than it should be. Yes.
It is less common than it should be.
It's we every now and again will comment on it because whenever we hear that being used, we'll go, "Hey," you know?
Yeah.
Because it's a
apparently
breath.
it's rare.
It's a breath of
Yeah.
fresh air every time.
I don't think it is that uncommon of a phrase. I
Yeah.
think it's
not.
more an uncommon thought
Mhm.
of, oh, I should prepare for the session by having everyone meet up.
Yeah,
Which
and
is
having a session where we
unfortunate.
outline what the game is going to be like, what is expected of the game,
Yep.
what's expected of the players, etc.
What the game will be like and why.
Yes, the tone of the game. That's why it fucking straight away when I started my campaign, it's like, this is not going to be combat heavy. This is going to be a lot of role play. It's going to be very comedy-y.
Yep.
It's going to be an anime campaign.
It's going to be a quirky anime style campaign.
Yep.
And it's not like a battle anime.
Right, exactly. And like, yeah, it is not an uncommon term. It's just like every time we cover a video, when they start, like, whenever we're talking about you should cover this in a session 0, it's not mentioned usually.
Yeah,
so
because
that's
apparently
just...
it's like...
But it's the thing. They all know it. They all know it.
Yeah.
I know that. I know that for a fact. They all know about it, but they just don't take the time. They don't take the time to tell the people that don't know.
Yeah.
Because the people that don't know are the ones who are watching the videos. Usually.
Exactly.
Quite usually. Or it's us.
Or it's us, yes.
Right? Who then go, well, dude, just say session
Just
0.
session 0.
At some point, just say it. Just say the words. Give me the words. Say the line, Bart. Say the line. Anyway, so midpoint. We have one more video that I think we'll cover tonight, and I don't think it's going to be very long. Let me check the length of it really quick. On my own. Oh yeah, it's only like 9 minutes or so. Very good.
Okay.
Who's
Who's
it
it by?
take us an hour.
It's by Nerdarchy actually.
Oh, okay, then it should be
and
good.
It's like a six-year-old video, but it's on the same topic. So we'll get there, but this is the midpoint, so it's time for our shoutouts and our shill talk. Well,
I will actually probably bow out here, given
That's
that
fine.
I work early tomorrow. I've
Sounds
got to have
good. Yep.
a good bedtime tonight.
Okay.
So I will wish you all a very happy podcast and a good night.
Alrighty. Good night, sir.
Take it easy.
See ya.
Before you go, sorry. Are you going to be good for Thursday?
I can't see why not.
Alright.
I always got to ask.
Bye, bitches.
Bye.
Damn it, it got away.
So, our lovely podcast here is brought to you by viewers like you and our patrons Wowee!
And the viewers are most likely, the patrons are most likely viewers.
That's also true, usually. So
Weird if they weren't, actually.
that would be kind of strange. They wouldn't know what they were signing up to.
It's Elon Musk, just angel investing. That's fine.
Oh, I see. Yes. I know that term.
Yeah,
It's an interesting term, actually.
it is. It's a cool term.
It is cool, but it's also bad sometimes.
Is it?
Yeah, it can be.
Oh, sometimes, yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
anything can be bad. So.
That's true. Basically, player GM communication and session 0 are the remedies to like a million potential problems. That's
Yep.
true.
And
That's
nobody ever
true.
talks about them.
Yup.
Mostly because if you made a video where you're like, hey, you know all these problems that everybody talks about and everybody makes videos about?
It wouldn't get
Yeah,
views.
there's not really much point. Just have a session 0 and talk it out.
Yep.
Done.
Wouldn't get views.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, going from the top here, of course, starting with the biggest spenders, biggest shouts, we got Draco Kraken at that tier 3, followed by Mog0, also at tier 3.
He was my Tyrannofax.
He was at one point. Slazer, also at tier 3. Steely, who's also been in the chat, tier 3. Thank you so much. And then, of course, Drake Cross at $10 for that tier 2. Thank you very much. Chris, $5 for that tier 1. Thank you. Frozen Spaghetti as well, at that tier 1. And Kill Chrono at tier 1. And our newest patron, Polyhedral, joined us for last episode. I think they also joined the Patreon that week, and I didn't see it until after the show had been over, so I apologize for that. But thank you very much for donating to the Patreon. It is very much appreciated, and just thank you.
We need to play Warhammer again.
We do. We really do. It's been a while.
We haven't done our mosh pit, and I want to do that.
True. Very true. The gigantic one.
Yeah, like the Titans and shit.
Yeah. That's true. But yes. Thank you again to all of you who joined the Patreon. If you want to, and if you're financially able, please take care of yourself before you even think about giving us any money.
I mean, you can think about it.
Well, I would say you could.
Think about it while you're budgeting so that you can survive.
That's
that?
fair. Okay. Think about it during your budgeting.
Yes.
But you can join it over at patreon.com/tabletalkdnd if you want to support us through that. Get early access to videos, which at like 2 in the morning or maybe 3 or 4 in the morning, the new Devils and Dice will be up.
Devils.
Yeah, I had a hiccup of burp. Yep. But yes,
I heard a comment, but it was still great.
Yeah, I know. You can see early videos as long as I can get them. I'm a lot more busy now, which is unfortunate, but I'm getting them out before they go up as best as I can, so please bear with me. And you'll get future stuff when we have the ability to make future stuff. I will be investing in some stuff now that I have money, that I'm going to be having money, so that we can get some you patrons some pretty cool shit, hopefully.
Actually, you know what? I'll have a question for you after the podcast.
Okay. Other than that, if you want something physical right now that also helps support us, you can go over to TeePublic to get our logo on a shirt, mask, whatever the fuck they give. And you'll support us a little bit by that. And you'll also get a neato little thing. It's pretty cool. Table Flipping Army represent. That's true, Steely. Thank you for that representation. But yes. So that's about it. There's also donations you can do to the stream itself if you really want to, but you don't have to. You can do it through the chat link, or you can do it on our website at it's tabletalkdnd.us, because it's cool. Fuck it, why not? But you can go find the PayPal link and you can do it directly that way if you want. But yeah, take care of yourself first before you even think about us. So that being said, that's all done. Thank you for enduring that with me. It always feels weird asking for money, but you know.
Oh, I mean, you're saying thank you for money.
I am. That's true.
Then you're asking for money.
Then I'm saying, hey, if you want to do it, go for it. And I'm not specifically asking you to. I'm telling you, if you want to, please don't do it unless you want to and also are able to.
And I think you're doing that enough.
Yeah.
To where, it's cool. Because if people want to, they can. And it's
true.
It's weird, but it's clear that they want to.
Yeah, it's true.
Don't ask me why.
But it's always, I know, it's always one of those things where I just, it's always just going to be
it's just weird.
Strange. So,
yeah.
Anyway, thanks again. And we will move on to, this is, let me pull it up here. This is Dungeons and God, it's so much louder. Sorry.
God, that's loud. Holy shit.
Yep. I gotta turn down my volume booster thing that I just downloaded to make that other video actually listenable. This is from Nerdarchy. It is Dungeons and Dating. Dungeons and Dating. How have romantic relationships affected your tabletop RPG gaming group? Yeah, so how has it affected it? So I assume and I hope that there's going to be it's been fine, it's been positive or something like that. And if they do have something that's not been positive, then we can learn from it, hopefully.
Yes.
And
you guys can learn along with us.
Yeah. Learning, that's why we're here.
Yeah.
So, here we go. And again, remember, this is from 6 years ago, so.
Yes. It was a different time back then.
It was a different time, a different place.
In time and space.
Hey guys, welcome to Nerdarchy for Nerds by Nerds. I'm Nerdarchist Ryan, and today I'm joined by the crew.
I'm Nerdarchist Ted.
Nathan Nerdarch.
Dave. And today we're going to be talking, getting romantic here with Dungeons and Dating. Sort of like how does relationships affect your gaming and vice versa.
Ooh, baby.
So I have two things to relate here. Number one, I've been married for over 10 years, and when my wife and I started dating, we discussed it, and I told her, hey, look, Saturday nights I game. It's been this way for over 10 years, so we can still do stuff.
This sounds more like it's about actual things. Hang on.
That is not what we're here for, because we are forever alone.
Yup. But also,
it doesn't really fit into the topic.
Yeah, that's the problem. There was another one that they had that seemed more like the topic than in this case. Yeah. Apologies, everyone. Let me go pull that up really quick. How did I do this before? What did I search? I forget.
Well, there's a problem right there.
Yep. It's alright, I'll get there.
Were you raised in the South? Or no?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not at
all. I know
all.
Brogan's been to the South. So.
Yeah. No, I live in the South now, but...
how do you like it?
It's hot.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Sucks.
Yeah. It's not the best thing, but it's not the worst thing. It's definitely worse most days.
Loud intro. God.
Yeah, happens. Alright, so... we're actually going to watch a different Nerdarchy video. This one's even shorter. Here we go.
Okay.
So this is D&D and romance, putting that loving feeling into your tabletop RPG GM 911. And if you remember, I think this is also from 6 years ago. If you remember, their GM 911 series is when people write in to ask for their advice. So we shall see what their issue is.
Yeah. My players are trying to fuck me. Help.
I hope not.
Yeah, right?
Hey guys, Dave here from Nerdarchy for Nerds by Nerds, hanging out with the crew.
Ryan.
Ted.
And we have another GM 911 from
DM Sagittarius.
And he wants to know, he's got players that are giving him better and better backstories.
Yeah.
And one of them wants to add romance into the game and have a romantic interest. So how does he go about it?
Well, you want to look deeply into his eyes, caress his cheek,
Talk to him in a soothing voice.
Is that what we're looking for?
Go
And say no.
Maybe.
Depends what kind of roleplay you're trying to have.
Yeah.
This is always a touchy subject at the gaming table. There are some DMs who are comfortable with their sexuality and will actually go through some of the role-playing stuff.
We're curious.
You know, or they're curious, however you will.
RPG curious.
Our group personally, you know, while we've like kind of, you know, touched on some of those things with stories, all that stuff kind of happens off screen.
Off camera,
you know, we don't talk about it at the gaming table because, you know, for the most part, we're a bunch of guys.
We're playing with other guys.
It's super awkward. Like, yeah, like, you know, he's my brother, and I'm gonna roleplay out a romance with like a female NPC. Like, that doesn't make it any kind of weird. So, like, yeah, it's just like, well, you know, like, you can leave the implications. You go up into your chambers together, and scene.
So here's the deal, right? I had a DM help me out with this real early in my gaming career, and I was a player. We were playing Top Secret, which is a spy game.
So you want to do the James Bond thing? There's, you know, if you're playing that kind of thing,
yeah, which means you have to sleep with whoever the female. Yeah.
There was actually a scene where, you know, first of all, it's super awkward doing this with another guy, and I was like 14 at the time, and there was a female. We hooked up, and of course, it was knockout lipstick. So there was what I learned right away, early on in my gaming career. Never let romance get involved in the game,
because it's always to your detriment.
Yeah, it's either a secret agent spy, or it's a succubus.
Always going to be a succubus.
So yeah.
Okay.
Not always going to be a succubus.
Yeah, there's nothing really much to say to that other than okay.
Yeah, it's not always going to be a succubus.
Yeah.
Now, the thing, I think that comes from a long line of people who are, like, in the olden days, it was always a succubus.
Sure, yeah, that makes sense, yeah.
You know, but nowadays, it's really not.
Nowadays, like it was said in one of the other videos, I think the first one, it's become more of a narrative thing, narrative focus D&D, like super more narratively focused than the more wargamey aspect than it was way back, right? And so you can have these complex like characters with their relationships and stuff, and it doesn't always have to be the succubus that's seducing you. It could just be this barmaid really likes you. Neat.
Yeah, it could be.
Right? You know, it's just one of those things.
Yeah.
I live in the South. Best damn barbecue down here.
I mean,
yeah.
Barbecue is pretty good here,
Barbecue
but
is
I mean,
good.
I'm just not much of a barbecue person, so
Dude,
I miss out on that train.
I lived in Maine for most of my life, and I loved the seafood up there, and it was fucking fresh and shit. And then, like, you come down here and everything's fried. And I'm like, oh, deep fried shrimp every time, huh? Deep fried this, deep fried that. I'm like, I just want to, and that's why I go to the fucking, the Japanese restaurant here and get sushi, because it's just like, this is the only thing that isn't fucking deep fried.
Don't worry, you'll come around.
I mean, it's good. Don't get me wrong.
Your arteries will come around.
It's good.
You gotta build up a tolerance to the grease.
That's true. It is good. Don't get me wrong. Like, I do enjoy it occasionally, but I also do want to have like not everything covered in breading and
yeah,
you know.
Say that when you've had a deep fried Oreo, baby.
Oh Christ, I can't even imagine.
Oh, they're fucking delicious.
I'm sure they are, but I also like feel myself dying faster just thinking about it.
Fair enough. I mean, I probably died a couple deaths eating my first one.
Yeah, there you go.
But I think you want romance in your game, and not how to keep it out, because normally I would just say make it a succubus, and that fixes this problem.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can have the off camera stuff. You can have the character seeking to gain affection and attention. You know, in Scott's game, you know, your character, you know, when we were presented with, hey, do this quest and you'll have a reward of your choice, you said, I want a wife.
I want a wife. That's right. Cat girl wife.
So
right.
you know, he
oh god. Okay, so it's a backseat wife. Okay.
Why are cat girls so loved, dude?
Don't really understand it,
mate. They're all right. I won't.
Yeah,
knock
they
them.
are
They're
fine.
Great. You know,
because like, okay, if we're getting okay,
Yep.
my
Nope.
thing.
This is the time. It's
Yeah, now's
episode
the time.
69.
Yeah, it's episode 69, so it is the time. Like, because here's my thing.
Sure.
Cat girls are literally, in like all the media that you ever see them in,
Yep.
they are like 90% of the time just regular girls with cat ears and a
Yep.
tail.
Yep, there's literally
There's like
nothing.
no difference.
Yep.
If you want a cat girl wife, just get a regular girl and put cat ears
Give
and
her
a
the
tail
cat
out of
ears.
her
Yeah,
ass.
exactly.
Yeah, and then just get a cat tail butt plug. Fine, done. That's all
Fuck,
you need.
That's right. I forgot about those.
Yeah.
Old days, all love interest are Satan. Nowadays, you are Satan. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. But yeah, no, I don't know, man. It's this whole like I don't know what the biggest thing about it is. I'm over here
It's
going like
it's the normie shit, I think.
maybe yeah.
I
At
just think
this point.
it's like I think it's just normies.
It's safe enough. It's safe enough because it is just a girl usually. It's just a girl, and it's like
yeah, it's pretty much just a
Hi.
girl with cat ears,
Right,
and sometimes with a cat mouth, like kitty mouth. You know that
Sure.
thing.
Yeah. And I'm over
that's-
here going like, nah, dog. You got to get to like Oni girls. Come on.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Oni girls.
or like orc women or something
girls.
like that.
Yeah.
Green
You got-
man,
Yep.
goblins. Give me my green short stack,
There you,
please.
there you go.
That's all
Come
I
on.
want. But they don't exist. I always say that my mind goblins are sexy, and that's why.
There you go.
road, and it wasn't anything about like, oh well, let's go off and role play. He was just like, okay, you'll get your pick of the litter, if you will.
Ugh.
Oh, man.
That's very racist against catfolk, I think.
Yeah.
I'm offended.
On behalf
Unsub.
Why? You're not a cat folk.
Unsub from
That's a
me.
joke.
I don't think I have my own channel.
I'm unsubbing from said, so in the videos I can't interact with him no more.
Unsubscribe.
In one of my games years and years ago, we did do there was a kind of like a romance arc that kind of happened.
I actually, I don't want to gloss over this. Let's not make quest rewards like people. That's weird.
Well, okay. Here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to have quest rewards be people, that honestly, I would be okay with that. But it's not gonna be a wife. It's going to be a slave.
Oh,
Like
sure.
if you do this quest, like for this shady or kind of like not backwater town, but like imagine
Right.
imagine you're doing like a desert town or something, you know,
Okay.
like
Yep.
like fantasy Agrabah or something like
Okay.
that, and you're doing it for the Sultan or something, and
Sure,
the Sultan is like, well, I mean, we've got gold, we've got this, but we've also got slaves, and
or
we
like
have an excess of
concubines or
slaves,
something,
so here, take some slaves.
Sure,
you know?
sure. No, that's fine. What I mean is like the stereotypical. You get this
Like, you get my daughter's hand in marriage.
like that. I don't know. That's fine. It's just the weird way that he said it. Of just like, I want a wife for this quest reward. I'm over here going, and I'm like,
so
but
strange.
but it's definitely like I'm fine with it being like I'm doing this quest to impress this princess, right? Or
Yeah,
this
that's
noble
fine.
woman, or like all this kind of stuff. Like you can make it steps of variation of just like getting
It's
the
like
attention.
it's like a courtship.
Yes, a courtship.
point.
Absolutely. A courtship or approving of one's like potential or
And-
all that kind of stuff, like their genetic being of like, yeah, I'm really strong and I can take out a dragon, all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Like I'll make good
And
babies.
so it's Dragon Slayer, the song.
Yeah.
Didn't you have no, it was Aiden that had a character in his campaign where the rogue or somebody was doing quests to earn the princess the princess's hand or something.
Or to make the father like okay
Accept
with
them.
him.
Yeah, to get their father's blessing. That was it.
Yeah.
So he did
And
that exact thing.
that is totally fine for me because it's not just like I did this quest, now you're mine. Like
that's fucked
weird.
up.
That's weird. I don't
Because
like
at that point, it's an arranged marriage. It's a marriage of political
Sure.
game. It's
Yeah.
not a marriage. It's a pairing, quote unquote.
That's also true. Yeah. You said Oni girls, and I immediately thought of the anime Yuruise Yatsura. I thought, wow, that's an old anime to reference. Then I realized you probably meant something else. I just meant Oni girls in general, but also
Yeah,
like,
just Oni girls.
I'm just gonna copy this real quick.
Okay.
Just see what that's about later.
Yeah. I'll research it for you.
Oh,
Just
I'm
give me a
looking already.
second. Okay.
Oh. Interesting.
Yurusei Yatsura.
Yep. Yurusei Yatsura. I see. Interesting.
Well, I mean, the other thing is that if you want to bust out of the normie, like waifu species thing, go watch Interspecies Reviewers.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Oh, actually, Alejo, you know what you need to see if you like Oni girls? You need to watch Peter Grill and the Philosopher's Time.
Peter Grill and the Philosopher's Time?
Yeah, hang on.
It was the first thing that popped up. Neat.
Yeah. The two pink girls.
Okay. Oi! Hey! All right. There you go.
And that one's really watchable. The episodes are only 10 minutes long.
Oh,
it's really
cool.
short.
Okay.
Yeah.
Neat. It's like, people are like, when I say Oni girls, sometimes people are like, oh, you mean demon girls? And I'm like, no, you don't understand. Demon girls have the curved horns that are like ram-like and all that shit. That's a whole different. No, Oni girls, the straight horns that are like basically part of the skin. Yeah. No,
yes.
Absolutely.
And so now in the show, they are technically ogres, but I mean they look exactly like Oni.
Oni ogre, kind of same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, it was very third person and mostly off scene, where the one character actually started building a relationship with a sylph.
Ooh!
And it went on for a while, and then there was
Sylph, is that like a MILF or a GILF?
No. Close, but not quite.
I'm trying to think of the S with Sylvan. I'd like to. Yeah.
Close enough.
Yeah.
Have, because it's PH. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
No, so and actually there was an egg conceived from that relationship, because I believe sylphs have eggs.
I believe so.
And
don't worry, you took care of that by putting that in another campaign.
And then Ted's character murdered the love of Jim's character's life. It was very sad and despicable. And also, at some point, I had a quickling kidnap the egg.
Did Giles have, before the egg got stolen, did Giles have to spend some proportion of the time sitting on the egg? Like, was that part of the romantic exchange?
No, he had to come back and throw up in her mouth or something. I don't know. No, and what I was going to do was have the egg get corrupted by some kind of like abyssal or fiendish
because
energies.
me murdering the love interest wasn't enough. You had to go even further.
No, I had to have I had to create a half self infused with demonic energies villain to pop up later in the story.
Because this is entirely my fault, not yours.
Yes, pretty much.
Asshole.
What were we doing a video about again?
I don't know. We've gone on a diatribe.
You kind of wandered off the path.
The only thing that I've gotten so far is you can put it in. Also, if you don't want to deal with it, make it a succubus. That's
do it off camera.
And do it off camera. Which, again, sure, yeah, that's Fade to
that's
Black.
Totally valid, but that's not really helping.
Well, I mean, that's a fair thing to just say. Of like, yeah, have it be off camera, sure. Like, yeah, that's fine. Fade to Black, like we said.
It sure doesn't fit in with the title, though, putting that loving feeling into your tabletop RPG, because fading to black instantly, or making it a succubus, or ignoring it.
I haven't gotten anything that's like, this is how you can maybe do it.
Yeah, like, this is how you can strengthen. This is how you can make their bonds feel stronger. This is how you can do this.
Yeah.
Put them in danger, but not the kind of danger where they think they're gonna die. Where it's like, oh man, our house is gonna be foreclosed. We need money, or I'm gonna be out on the street.
Sure.
And then it's like, oh my god, my wife or husband is gonna be out on the street and not being able to afford food. We need to go out, get some money so I can make a house payment.
Yeah, or
that's very benign, but that's in danger. That's not good.
Yeah, or you can do something of like the significant other wants to join the player character, if it's an NPC, right? Wants to join the player character on their journey to help them, They could be that kind of tougher kind of character that can take care of themselves and actually can swing a sword and such.
the other option is you can have them want to help, but have them be weak, and they're kind of like the party's maid or butler.
Sure,
you know,
you can do that too if you want.
It's like help out. It's like, oh, hey, good morning. I made you guys breakfast, and I polished all your swords. Like, wow, thanks.
Sure.
You know?
There's many things to like have them be a part of the story if you want them to be. If you want them to not be a part of it, or if you want them to be a background thing, you know, you can have it be like, hey, you can stay here in the safety of a city, but you can maybe act as some sort of liaison to the I don't know, the people here, so that I can send you letters that you can then tell other people, you know, whatever I need you to tell them. Or you can maybe join an organization that could help, or, you know, you can have them be something in the background.
Yeah.
Or the party crafter or alchemist. Yeah, you could do that too. There's many different. It just depends on the character that they have romanced, right? What can they do?
Here's the thing. What you want to do is you want to romance somebody who can either make potions or has the gourmand feat.
Well,
because then you're out hunting monsters like, hey, did you bring back anything good? Hell yeah, take these like trog legs. I'm like, yeah.
You could do
We're
that.
We're gonna keep going tonight, boys.
You could do that, absolutely. But this is
great.
This is just in general. It's just like, yeah, just figure out whatever it is that character that has been romanced can do. And if it's something that can help, or if it's something like was said before, you can use them as kind of a plot hook as well. It's just like, oh, hey, like you said, we need the money, so now you gotta go and do things to get the money, because we need a lot of money so that we can live and continue to live in our home, right?
Yeah. Or maybe the home that they live in when you found them was, or like when you started dating, was dangerous. They lived in a lower area of town, and now they want to move to somewhere better and safer. So they're gonna need to save up money so they can buy a house in the upper district or whatever.
Yeah, or like, or it could be like maybe the character themselves has something that they want to do and that you can help them with, right? Like, I want to go to the other end of the continent where I think my father is, right? Where he has gone because he left so long ago because he tried to make money for the family and he left, and I had to grow up and take care of myself and my 3 siblings and also my mother, and you know, like, you can have so many things to play off with that too, but that can deepen your bond with them, because you're like, well, if you're like, yeah, let's do it, let's go help and we gotta find your dad, you know, or whatever it is that you need to do. All of these things can deepen that bond and then create these moments of just, you know, the relationship continuing to progress. So yeah, I don't know. 5 minutes in, and I don't know, man. Anything that they're gonna add in 2 minutes? Let's see.
Can you feel the love tonight? Yeah.
So, you know, you can either, you know, go the route and, you know, do as much as you feel you're comfortable with, you know, with your players, you know, or if you're not really, you know, cool with it, totally, you know, have things off camera. You know, we've had some weird requests by players who have come to our tables, and sometimes it's like, all right, dude, that's enough.
We're not going there.
You do that on your own time.
The cheerleader outfit is just too much. I'm sorry.
For some reason, this is making me think of Posey from Maps and Dragons. I don't know if that channel still exists or not, but he did a one-shot for Made the RPG and wore a wig.
Wow. Yeah,
that's
pretty cool.
So you could get a wig, and when you're role-playing, you know, if you happen to be a male player, I guess you could get a wig if you're a female player too.
Yeah, there's women that have like collections of wigs. That's a thing.
It's a thing.
It's totally a thing.
So yeah,
is it a thing?
It's whatever you're comfortable with. You know, it doesn't actually have to happen. You know, most of this stuff can happen off scenes. A little bit of the role playing on scenes, to whatever you like, whatever you guys enjoy at your table. Do it.
Whatever doesn't make everyone else around you two feel super awkward too. Because
Okay,
it's like
yeah.
being in the same room
True.
where like two people make out. Like that's just weird.
You either have to feel awkward or do like
Be into it.
commentary or something.
Yeah, you're like, all right, yeah, good job, buddy.
Yeah. So in the comments below, let us know how you handle romance in your games. Is it hands off? Are you guys all about it?
Is it full throttle? Full throttle romance.
I feel like they had points that they were gonna go into more, but they kept going off into jokes.
Yeah,
Right?
all too much.
Which I'm fine if you do so, but you gotta at least circle back to getting to your point, which they tried to multiple times. Ted did,
Yeah.
more often than Dave did. And I forget middle guy's name because he's not in feature stuff, but
Yeah.
like
Now, obviously, we don't have a whole lot of ground to stand on, but we at least do make our way back at some point, and we do try to make lots of different points.
well, sure, yeah. I mean, we have plenty of we have just as much ground as anybody else would, I think.
I mean, it's true.
Because like,
Well, I mean, it's just the tangents that we go on last on a very long time. Sometimes
they very much can, but usually they're inspired by the points that we've brought up, you know.
Yeah, it's true.
But occasionally, yeah, we can, go a bit far and then not circle back. So there are times, absolutely. But for this 7-minute video,
Yeah, not really much was said.
I understand what you want, I guess. What you wanted to say, and you got some of it across, sure. Like, do things out of game, do what you're comfortable with. It really only needs to be said, I guess, do what you need to be comfortable with, but that isn't in itself, I think, enough to really give the person what they need, because if they're saying this person wants to do this and you say just do what you feel comfortable doing, well,
yeah, that doesn't help.
At that point, it's like, okay, so I know what I feel comfortable doing, but maybe I need some examples of like how you would do these things if you were comfortable doing them.
Yeah,
because you said
I need examples.
All you said was do succubus, or don't do it, or do it, or like,
you know what this is like? I feel like this is kind of like if you ask somebody who does Minecraft videos, how do you build a house? And then they build a box out of dirt, and they're like, this is how you can build a house.
That is how you can build a house, yes.
You know what I mean? Instead of building like a nice like log cabin that's have lots of detail and stuff, you know what I mean?
Instead of just saying like, well, you can gather a bunch of different materials. It really depends on what you want to make your house out of. Do you want to make it out of wood? Do you want to make it out of stone? Do you want to make it out of dirt? Do you want to make it out of different kinds of stone? Maybe like diorite, right? And like going into more detail. Right, and then going like, well, what kind of house do you want? A 1-story? Do you want a 2-story? Because I can show you some examples.
And then they don't.
And then but this was like
they show like 2 examples, and like one's a box, and then one is a box with a box on top of it for the second floor.
Right, and it's just like, okay, cool.
Like, all right, thanks, we answered your question. Bye.
Yeah, I like it's enough to answer it, I think, of like, do what you feel comfortable. Yeah, that is enough to answer the question, but it also needs more detail, I would say, right? Because it's just
Bye,
like
Steely. Sorry.
All that kind of stuff. Oh yeah, see you, Steely.
Yeah, yep.
Okay, so I'm saying to keep it classy. It's episode 69. Well,
Yeah, well, I mean, it's almost over. So.
Yeah, we're basically done at this point.
The 69 is almost completed.
So, yeah, I'm not overly disappointed with the video. I just think there could have been more that was said. I feel like there should have been more that you could have informed them of like different options to do. Like what we said, using the romance as something that can further the character, or something that can maybe further the story, or it could be something that you just have as a side thing that will happen occasionally, right? Like there's so much that you can do with this, and you just said you can put it in there if you want to.
Yeah, and
Basically.
that's pretty much all
And
you
I'm
said.
like, well, yes, that's true. But what if I don't know how I would want to?
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, that's gonna do it for us for tonight, I think. There's not much else to be said. So, thank you for hanging out with us. It was fun. Episode 69. We did it.
Hey.
We did it. That's the number. The next meme number is 420. So, see ya.
Gonna be a while.
See ya in like 6 years.
Yep, and then also the one after that, 420,069. That's the other meme number.
Yep, and then 6969. Don't forget that.
And then we'll see. Well, we won't, but our great grandchildren
exactly
will, who will pick up the podcast.
That's right, because they care about it too. I know that for a fact.
Yeah. So you and Aiden better get busy.
Yeah, you're just an immortal ghost, so you'll just be there. That's true.
I'll just be there, haunting everything that I touch.
Anyway, so thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. And thanks for watching the VOD if you're watching the VOD. Don't forget, hey, make that subscribe thing 100%. Said it right this time.
I heard you wrong.
Oh,
because you said, don't forget, hey, you know that just then, and I could have sworn I heard you say, don't forget, pay.
Oh God, no. but I excuse me. That's unfortunate because I was gonna go into the Patreon again to thank them. So thank you again to Draco Kraken, Mug Zero, Slazer, Steely, Drake Cross, Chris, Frozen Spaghetti, Kill Chrono, and Polyhedral. Thank you so much to all of our patrons. Again, only join so if you are able to. And you can catch the VOD on Fridays at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and live on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Devils and Dice on Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just when I have that up and all that stuff, and if we do a session. Audio only version of the podcast is on your podcasting service of choice around noon on Mondays Eastern Standard Time. Other than that, like, comment, subscribe, all that shit, notify, the bell, whatever, I don't know what it is. Hey, send us an email, fuck it, visit our website, join our Discord, all that shit, go in the description and look at it all.
Hit us up on MySpace.
Right, yes. Super active on there. My friend
also
Tom.
We're on Google+.
That's right, yeah. What other defunct services are there?
Fuck, I don't even know any more big ones.
Dude, I don't know. Obviously friend us on LinkedIn because we're a business, obviously.
And
Snapchat.
We just take a picture of our computer screens in the middle of the podcast.
Yeah, exactly. There's the Instagram. I've seen a lot of people are following the Instagram. I haven't posted there in forever. So
weird.
If you have followed the Instagram, I'm sorry. I'll do something at some point. I promise.
You could put. Well, I don't know if you'd feel comfortable with it, but you could put. You could put pictures of your orcs on there.
That is true. Yeah. Once I actually get to that point. Yeah, we'll get there. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, that's it. So, good night, everybody. Yeah. We'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Watch Tables and Dice, please.
Tables.
Tables and Dice.
Devil.